Hear ye, hear ye. Court is now in session.
What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in immobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile, yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is a trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mick. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile, yeah. Signaling their pick on their profile.
Make me suck the sushi off this stick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to FlowState versus based oracle, but based
Oral. I think it's based oral.
Is it moral oral? I can't tell. I can't decide. All right, we're going to go into, is that the one? Yes, we're going to go into this here format, and I want to discuss what is the topic of this debate, gentlemen.
Why are you gay?
This is going to be a really long debate, gentlemen.
So Flo made an assertion that the rich don't pay their fair share is nonsense. And I'm taking the position of truth, of reality, of course.
Okay. Flo, do you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah, the concept of the rich's fair share. I think it's invalid. He thinks it's valid.
Okay, so as we go through this is an argument in the style of a debate. I make no allusions to this being a legitimate debate, so if you like screaming at people, you can try to do that. But I do have all the buttons, and I hate both of you equally. So we're going to try to be as, completely disastrous as possible. I'm going to try to ruin absolutely everything. And who do we trust most to flip a coin? First of all, who has a coin?
I probably got something.
Maybe. A penny. Oh, it's a dime. All right. Of course, since based oracle is always heads. Heads. Based gets to promote first. Would you like a full screen, or does the debate stage suit you?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So the premise here is the rich do not pay their fair share, or do they? And let it roll.
All right. So, FlowState, would you agree that there are a plethora of deductions, ways that the rich can obfuscate paying even the same tax rate as the poor?
No, I don't think so. I think that there are ways that the rich can shift, reduce, or minimize tax burdens, but unless they're doing specific deals with municipalities to get subsidies, they're not going to be like the poor. There's a whole class of people that actually get paid by the government annually. That's why you see all those temp tags, tax season, right? So I don't think that as a percentage of income, the rich ever become net recipients like the poor.
Okay. Would you agree the top 400 earners, all billionaires? There's over 5,000.
Are we talking about salaries or gross or income from all sources?
Well, I'm talking about billionaires.
Okay. And so they have the top amount of money. But
yeah, we're going to get into income, but I'm just saying billionaires.
So
right? That means they have $1 billion.
Again?
Right. So my question is, the top 400 earners in the U.S. are billionaires.
That makes sense.
Okay. So do you realize that the effective tax rate for billionaires, and this was in 2018, was just 23%?
The effective income tax rate.
Right. What they paid in income, their tax rate was less than the middle class, the lower class, which would pay 24.2%.
Yeah. The top earners probably don't earn income in the way that income tax is defined. They probably don't have jobs or get wages or salaries. They probably have investments and assets that appreciate. So
sure, they probably do. You're probably right, but that has nothing to do with the point.
Yeah, it does.
Their income, their effective income rate,
it directly
was cited
addresses
at 23%.
The point. Right, it directly addresses the point by saying the word income is misleading. As used in tax code, it's defining wage income, W-2 income, which rich people don't earn. They don't work for somebody else.
Right.
So it would make sense that they would not have tax on something that they don't actually earn.
So it would make sense to you that there's a loophole that they can pay less money percentage-wise, right? They can pay less of a percentage than even the poorest.
It's not a loophole. It's a technical term when used in tax code, but we use it colloquially when we're discussing these things. And so income, as income tax goes, is stuff comes from specific activities like working at a job. But when we discuss it, we just think that it's any money that comes to us. So income tax only applies really to a small amount of money that rich people don't actually earn that category of money. They have other incomes off of other tax categories, and
like
they pay tax
gains.
on that.
Like
capital gains, exactly.
Which is also lower than that 24%. So
as it should be. Capital gains is a disaster.
You're saying as it should be, but you admit that the lower class doesn't have access to do that. They're not able to
Correct.
do that.
They have
can
no gains.
Obfuscate. Right, which inherently would be unfair.
What level of life isn't fair? But
well, I mean, we're not talking about equality of outcome. We're talking about equality of opportunity.
Why
which
are
is
we
a big
arguing
difference.
the fairness of the tax code when we haven't even
that's the
established
name
that
of the
it's
debate.
legitimate?
Fair share. Isn't that the name of the debate? Aren't we talking about fair share? And now you're asking why we're
You haven't
arguing what's fair?
established that it is even a valid concept at all. I would say it's not even a valid concept. You're just moving forward with, do we have it structured right?
Wait, you're saying that the title of the debate is not a valid concept?
The concept of the rich having a fair share at all is invalid. So when you move forward asking me, is this a fair tax paradigm? I'm saying you're trying to structure something as if we've already agreed that it should move forward and be in place at all.
Like,
I think that
like I won the debate before we even started. Is that what you mean?
no, like you skipped your prerequisites.
What prerequisite are we missing? We just established
The rich
that
don't owe
billionaires.
the poor anything.
Well, we're not talking about owing the poor per se. We're talking about fair share in terms of taxes, right? For instance, that would be part of fair share. Would we agree on that at least?
I'm not sure that what you're trying to get me to agree to. The fair share concept itself implies that the rich owe something to other people for being rich. Does it not?
No. Because take the other side of it, the poor. I'm not arguing that they do or don't. The question is, okay, let's establish
How do
we all have to pay taxes, right? We can agree on that. The poor, the rich, the in-between.
I mean, that is the world we live in now. It's
Right.
not ideal.
Reality. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm not saying that it is ideal. I'm not here to shill for taxes. But the fact is we all have to answer to the taxman, right? Legally.
Correct.
Right. So
Okay,
considering that, is it fair that the poor pay a higher percentage of income, of their
All right, so-
income? We're not talking about their assets. We're talking about their income than the rich. That would be the share being the taxes.
Okay, so this is slightly different than what I thought we were arguing. So I guess I won the debate that I thought I was going to, and now we're having the debate that you think we're going to.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Right. So we're not discussing the fairness of taxes in place at all. Is that right? We're just discussing the fair taxes are in place. Is this fair?
Well, it's a broad subject, right? Fair share. That can mean a lot
Court
of
is
things.
non-session. We have a debate of terms. FlowState is wanting to utilize the term income as it is used in the tax code by the federal government. Based Oracle seems to be taking the approach that income is any type of financial incentive you receive from the system. Is this correct?
I think it's correct. Yes.
What was the last part? I didn't quite catch that. Anything brought in by the system?
Any form of cash accrued from utilization of the system, the federal government, the banking system, the United States as a whole.
Income, money coming in, money received by the party, so whoever's in question, and taxable income would then make up the share of taxation.
Since we have a disagreement, we shall go to the internal revenue. I don't like clicking these links. Right. And look for, no, not income tax, but income definition.
So I can argue this as he's presenting it. I originally thought we were arguing whether or not fair share, because I think fair share as a concept in and of itself is absurd. It embedded within that phrase is the implied claim that you owe something because you are rich.
Well, no more than you owe something because you're poor, or you owe something because you're middle class.
Nobody talks about the poor's fair share.
That didn't work.
Well, clearly we're not in a vacuum here. We're talking about the rich, the poor, the middle class, right? And the question is, do the rich pay their fair share? Because we're all dumping into the taxation system.
Yeah, I would say that the rich do pay their fair share. I mean, I don't know, because this is a lot bigger, more complicated number to tease apart, right? Than if we're just looking at income. If we're looking at all their operations, a wealthy person's financial situation is way different than just looking at earned income on a tax return.
We could talk, right, but we don't even have to keep it to the taxation system. Even tickets, even fines could be a form of taxation, quasi-taxes.
Sure.
And wouldn't you think that a rich person, right, a billionaire, let's just say, getting a speeding ticket, points on their license, that would affect them far less than a poor person in the same situation.
Right. Yeah, it does.
So in a sense, given the, and look, again, I'm not asking for the concept of equality of outcome. I don't believe in that. This isn't anti-capitalism. I'm talking about equality of opportunity and the current system in place that greatly benefits the rich by all accounts.
No, well, I mean, the speeding ticket is a great example because rich people and poor people have the same fee schedule for a speeding ticket. The fact that it impacts a poor person more because they have less resources at their disposal is actually you addressing an equality of outcome.
You mean in terms of it's the same amount?
No. Well, yeah. The opportunity of not speeding, or if you do speed, this is the punishment.
Okay.
There's equality up front. What you're saying is this is unfair because on the back end, it hurts them more. But that's an outcome.
Sure, but to that point, if we're talking about taxes, right? If we bring it back to formalized taxes, the idea that you just put out is almost like saying, well, the average American is paying $60,000 a year in taxes when you account for the rich as well as the poor and middle class. And what would happen to the people who make below 60,000, which is almost everyone? So the point is, it's always been done on a percentage. So I don't think equating this to equality of outcome was fair, right, in terms of a speeding ticket. The point is that taxation, that form of quasi-taxation, could be a percentage, just like it is for formalized taxes.
But it's not, because it's not, and that would be more unequal. It is much more fair, universally, to say this is the crime and this is the punishment, than it is say, well, yeah.
But wouldn't you agree the punishment then for a poor person, let's say they only have the average American only has less than $10,000 saved, period, right? So for that person who potentially can't pay, let's say they get a DUI, they're fucked. Like that's pretty much game over.
They are.
Right? So the punishment is going to be much heavier than versus
they
the
took
rich.
A bigger risk. They took a bigger risk. Well, that's just the way of life.
So you're saying the risk? Okay, go on.
They took a bigger risk. If you can't afford to pay that fine, then don't take the risk. It just is what it is. This is the way of every organism within nature. The closer you are to the edge, the more careful you got to be. I don't think it's society's job or even right to try to mitigate something as embedded in nature as if you're down and out, you need to tread carefully.
Sure. So again, getting back to the formalized taxes, you agree that there's a difference in equality or equality of opportunity when it comes to tax code, that the rich are able to get richer while, as you know, for the middle class, as taxes go up, they're just getting buried. They don't have the same opportunity to obfuscate tax, to use offshore havens, to use tax code that's complicated, requires a lawyer. They don't have that opportunity. And what would you say about that?
I would say that the middle class is stuck in a shit spot, but they actually do have the same opportunity. They just don't have the same capacity. I think that the government has found, basically, the government uses the poor, pays off the poor so that the poor support the government in taking money from the rich and the middle class. Now, the rich have enough assets and at their disposal that they can usually do a good deal of to minimize it. They still pay a lot of fucking taxes. It's just not income tax. But the middle class really gets squeezed because, like you said, they are still in the level, the socioeconomic levels that the government wants to squeeze money out of, but they don't have the capacity to actually really attempt to avoid that stuff.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Just as you laid it out, the middle class getting the squeeze while the poor can kind of tread water and the rich are really getting unfair advantage. But wouldn't you then go back and say, well, then the rich aren't paying their fair share in that case?
The rich are, the poor are the ones who are not paying their fair share. The poor are getting paid from taxes.
Well, that may be true, but that's not the debate. The debate doesn't dispute that it could also be the poor.
Fair share is means it's relative. So
exactly.
Right. So if the rich are paying taxes and the middle class are paying taxes and the poor are getting paid taxes, if you look across the whole lay of the land, the rich are paying their fair share. If there's an imbalance, it's because the poor are not.
Really? You think so?
Yes.
Are you okay? You realize the biggest group is the middle class. The poor are fairly small in comparison to the middle class. I mean, statistically.
I don't, and I'm not being a cite your sources guy, but do you have that number? I think that we've got this middle class is smaller than probably we're under the impression it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd have to define what is middle class poor. But the point is, you're saying that the poor aren't paying their fair share, right? Which
right.
I suppose we could agree on that.
Sure.
The middle class, or at least what's defined as, why don't we define it to make this simpler? So $40,000 a year income per person in the U.S. up to, say, $100,000. Would that sound about like the middle class to you?
Sure. Let's do. I mean, I'm sure it's defined somewhere, but let's do 60 to 200.
Okay. Sure.
I think that I think the amount of money you have to have. We've got a lot of inflation lately.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but if the median
in
income,
2022, the median household was 73,914,000 to roughly 100.
No. This is household income. We're talking about per person.
Okay.
We can't use household because now we're talking about multiple people. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4.
Okay, we can use whatever you want. I think that there's no reason that household doesn't work, but if you want to use individual, then I'm fine with that too.
Well, the household introduces many more variables. We don't know the.
No, you just treat a household. You treat a household exactly the same as you would treat an individual discursively. It's an individual unit.
Hold on a second. That is not the household. Well, I guess it is household, median household. The 2024, it went down. Check this out.
Okay, wow. So I just want to, while you got it.
Yeah, you've got a few super chats to shout out if y'all want to do this now.
I mean, we can wait till the end, or however you want to do it.
That's fine. We'll wait.
I just lost that. You want to pull it back up? Okay, 52 to 98. That's about what I said.
It's close enough for government work. All right, continue.
Right.
If you are watching in my chat and you like what I'm saying because you're rich and you have disposable income, hit that Cash App. Because I don't have super chat, so I know that ain't mine.
Okay, so the middle class, historically, it's my understanding, has been the biggest group, right? So then we have the poor, then we have the rich. The rich, small in comparison, the poor, small in comparison. So if we're talking about fair share, and you're saying, well, the poor don't pay their fair share, I can accept that. But that doesn't dispute the fact that the rich aren't paying their fair share in terms of they're not paying even the percentage, which affects them. Hold on, let me go back. So if middle class person is spending 40% of their income on taxes, that leaves them with an amount that is difficult to live on, depending on where you are. The rich paying less than the middle class in terms of percentage, which you can argue is a much greater amount of money. I agree, obviously. But with that said, it affects them less. It doesn't stop their livelihood. So why do you think that it is fair that they pay less just because they use tax loopholes? Why would that be fair?
Sasquatch, can you share my screen backstage? Pretty small.
Apparently not well. Let's fix that.
All right. The top is percentage of income earned. The bottom is percentage of income tax paid. You can see that the rich are paying, except for that sort of puke green color right there, where they lost a percentage point somehow. The rich are paying their fair share.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is just showing what they're right. So the top 21% earners are paying 40% of the taxes.
That's the top 1%. Earns 21% of all of the income earned, but pays 40% of the income taxes paid.
What is this cited on?
YoMama.com.
Federal income taxes and the adjusted gross income.
Here, I'm putting it in the back chat. It's heritage.org.
All right. I'm looking at it.
Tap out.
Work right. It's your screen. I'm over here trying to get rid of it. I didn't kick mine completely out. Anyway, fair share, huh? 40%, huh? Almost half and 1%.
The top 1% pay almost half of the total taxes. It's crazy.
And this is derived from income, not in counting. Are we counting things like capital gains? And
I didn't dig that deep into this infographic, but I bet because I knew that base would be right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yep.
yeah, I'll tell you this much. Whatever tax bracket I happen to be in, I am certain I'm paying too much.
Mm-hmm. And right? we the poors thank you for it.
Yeah, I would say eat me, but that's what it's all about, right?
So I'm also putting in the chat here, in the back chat. This is linking to whitehouse.gov, and this is a newer article, 2021, versus it looks like yours was 2018.
Can you share the screen?
Yeah, 2018.
Or do I need to get
it? Yeah, I put it in the back. Let me open it. All right, I'm presenting.
Oh, ladies, he's presenting.
So just to be clear, your source is the Biden-Harris administration.
No, it's the White House.
Right, which was whose White House was it then?
Okay,
the most liberal wonky administration in history. But go ahead.
Okay,
we'll look at it.
And yours was Obama?
No, my source wasn't Obama.
Well, I'm just saying correlation, right? That's who was in 2018 to the end of, right?
That's one. Yours is directly from.
No, it was Trump.
Yours is directly from the politician that's trying to justify their agenda. Mine was from a third-party organization that, while it is political, has a political slant, it is not a politician.
All right. Either way, let's look at the data here. Billionaires pay an average federal individual income tax rate of just 8.2%.
Hold on. Read that. Average federal individual income tax rate. That is a very specific, jargony tax line.
Right. Yeah. Mine is specific.
Okay. I just want you to hold it in mind.
Are we going to be vague?
No, I want you to hold it. I want you to hold it in your brain because this is probably being used intentionally deceptively. What I'm saying is this reads like something that the average person is going to go, oh, their money, but in reality, it's a very specific line item that, like I said earlier, the rich don't have individual income tax typically because they don't have individual income typically. They own assets. They don't work jobs. But anyways, go ahead.
We're talking about federal taxes.
I know.
Okay, federal taxes. It's very simple. Of just 8.2%. Right? And this isn't all of the rich. This is the wealthiest 400 billionaire families. So it is a subset of the rich. Right? Because this isn't all inclusive of the rich. But just to make a point here.
Because the rich, the assets that are held by the rich don't pay taxes through that, right? If you understand the structure of trusts or S corps, these entities pay the taxes out for them before the revenue gets there. It's
right, and allow them to take advantage of tax code that can't apply to the poor.
It's not taking advantage. It's just getting hit in a different spot. It's still getting hit.
No, hold on. There's a number that's correlated with it. So let's not pretend this is like apples. This is them lowering their tax rate, right? So how can you say that's not taking advantage of?
What's them lowering their tax rate?
Well, you brought up S corps, for instance.
Right.
Why do people who use S corps use them?
Okay.
We know why. It defers income. It lowers tax rate, and you understand that the poor don't have that.
If I own a business,
yeah,
and then I get paid out of the business's profits, I'm still paying the taxes, whether it gets taxed while the money's still in the business or when it comes to me. If that money's leaving my revenue stream, I'm paying taxes.
The question is it the same amount, percentage? And we both know the answer that you obfuscated. It's at a lower percentage.
No, we don't know that at all. I would assume that anybody with half a brain would structure their shit in a way that they pay the lowest amount of taxes, as they should.
I agree. But my point is that the poor don't have that accessible. The middle class don't have accessibility to that same tax code.
The poor are on the dole. The poor get paid from taxes.
Okay, the middle class does not have opportunity to use that. Can we agree on that? So we don't have equality of opportunity.
I actually don't even agree on that, but for the sake of argument, like, let's go ahead and just assume that I do, but I do not agree on that.
Okay. So did the middle class have opportunity to use tax havens, to use offshore accounts?
Sure. If they have assets, sure. Depends on the country. We can go there. You're allowed to, you have a passport. You can open an account.
Okay. Then Flo, you're allowed to drive a Lamborghini tomorrow. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to go buy a Ferrari. Does that help you?
And I have done a lot of, I do my own taxes, and I have for all of my adult life. I've deducted a lot of things. All the guns, I've forfeited $100,000 worth of guns in my criminal plea deal. I tax deducted that shit. I tax deducted the safes that were blowtorched open when the police raided me. I'll deduct all this shit I'm talking to you on, right? So you don't need to have money to hire people to figure out this stuff. It's nobody's fault but your own if you don't, or, the universe's, if you don't have all the resources it requires to use all the resources in existence. That's and again, that's an equality of outcome issue.
No, I'm talking equality of opportunity in terms of, okay, did the rich not use lawyers? Do you think they do their own taxes? You don't think they have accountants and lawyers and
what is the opportunity?
Well, having those people that cost money give an opportunity.
What is the opportunity in this equation?
Oh, the opportunity is to obfuscate paying their fair share of taxes, which they're doing.
The opportunity is to take advantage of the tax code, right?
Right.
What is prohibiting the poor from taking
money
opportunity?
Money.
Are there any barriers?
Money is the barrier.
That's circumstantial. That's their own. There's no imposed.
Look, it can't be
barrier.
Circumstantial if we've ascertained the poor is poor, the middle class is middle class. Because if they weren't, then they'd be the rich, and then being able to
hire an expensive lawyer or accountant, that's an outcome.
Doing the action leads to an outcome, sure.
Yeah. So
could be bad.
You are arguing for equity. What do you think about UBI? Are you a fan of UBI?
Refresh me.
Universal basic income. Should the government just give everybody an allowance because they're our daddy and we're retarded?
No, that's not my argument.
No, I know it wasn't. I was just asking you because
the way I would structure it is the tax code would be very simple. I guess, for lack of something better, what Trump laid out that he was going to make happen that didn't make happen. But the idea, if I recall, that you could do your taxes on a postcard type of shit.
Yeah, he's a politician. He lies.
Yeah, sure. I agree. But I'm saying if it was that simple, right, where everyone had a even flat rate, right? I'm not even saying the poor should pay less of a percentage than the rich. I'm just saying if it was the same percentage across the board, then we couldn't say that they don't pay their fair share, less other behind the scenes.
If it was
shit.
the same percentage across the board, then that would be even more unfair to the poor who already don't have a percentage on hand. Like you're arguing in both directions. What do you want? Do you want society to smooth the world around the poor out for them, or do you want it to just rigidly impose a number and let the poor figure out how to deal with it?
No, I'm talking about the rich paying their fair share, right? So that would be paying at least the percentage that the middle class are paying, because we already agreed that the poor don't pay their fair share for the concept of the argument, so we don't need to go there. But at least for the middle class not to be paying a heavier burden of percentage. And we're talking about living expenses. We're not talking about the ability to buy luxury items. That's really all that's being affected for the rich.
So in reality, taxes are so there's so much tax code that unless you have a straight up W-2 income, if you've got any sort of a diverse income streams, you can figure out how to not do taxes. There's a lot of ways to do it, a lot of ways to minimize it.
Okay.
I've never been rich, so I don't know. I'm sure at some level, maybe Grid down there knows. At some level, you're going to outpace your ability to play games with tax code.
Sure.
I don't remember where I was going to land that though.
No, I was going to also throw out, what about payroll taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, which obviously is some of the reason that the rich would want to move to capital gains or deferment versus traditional income, right? And that
rich
works
don't want to
out
move to capital gains. Are you talking about capital gains taxes or?
Well, I'm talking about payroll taxes versus the other alternatives that we just discussed, some of them that the rich will use to lower their tax burden. But what I'm pointing out is that it's not just the federal tax percentage, is that now they're not paying Social Security, Medicare, etc.
And all those things, I might add, are just exactly redistributions of the richest assets into the poor's consumption. So you're saying that they're not paying their fair share of them paying money to poor people?
Well, I'm saying that, no, that's not the direct correlation, right? We're not making this a poor rich. There's the middle class as well. And what I'm saying is by the ability to circumvent traditional taxes, in some cases, like you said, that I agree with, which is if you're able to get some kind of lenience or lower your tax rate, you're going to do it. I get it. That's human nature. But that's not the question. The question is, are the rich paying their fair share? And I'm pointing out that, for example, by some of the mechanisms that are enabled by opening the doors, that inequality of opportunity that the rich have through lawyers, accountants that the poor middle class cannot afford, so aren't able to utilize that tax code, or they don't have a business, right? They're working on the payroll. That's most Americans. So they don't have the opportunity to obfuscate Social Security and Medicare taxes, for instance, payroll taxes, which is a benefit to having right capital gains, which is a benefit to having your own business in some respects, S corp.
I don't think that you're like capital gains. First of all, so owning capital is not the rich trying to hide from income tax. It's an entire lifestyle difference. You own assets. You don't work a job for somebody else. You own the assets. So your whole lifestyle is different. Capital gains tax is just an attempt of the government to get money from people who aren't working. And capital gains tax, by the way, is that will hurt the poor more than anybody. If too much capital gains tax, you understand that that's being taxed actual money on assets appreciating that you have not earned any actual money from.
You're saying necessarily? Can you give an example?
Yeah. Okay. So here's a book. If this book, let's just say this is a collector's book, and I bought it for $10, and now it's worth $200. Capital gains tax is a tax on the amount of value that's increased. I've received no money for it.
I don't believe that's the case.
Okay, well, I don't know what to tell
You're
you.
paying capital gains for things that have appreciated, but you haven't yet
income
turned in.
tax. Yes. Yep.
Okay, so like on a house, right? You buy a house and the value goes up. You're paying capital gains tax on it before you sell the house. So the rich
Correct.
aren't using deferment as one mechanism to avoid that, right?
Say that again.
The rich aren't using deferment.
I actually don't know what the current capital gains tax structure is because I don't own any capital.
So then why did you bring it up?
You brought it.
33%.
33%.
33% roughly.
Yeah. Just because I don't own any and I'm not familiar with the current tax rate doesn't mean I don't know what the fuck it is. You don't know what the fuck it is.
Okay, so let's say unrealized gains, for instance, where the rich can borrow money against their assets, like stocks, real estate, without selling them, avoiding taxes on capital gains even.
I'm going to throw a flag on this one. Unrealized gains is unprofitable. There's no profit to tax. It is not where you got money. It is simply something that you have is worth more than it was when you bought it. And you're not doing anything. There's no income there. There's no exchange of services. There's no exchange of money. There is no need to tax gains that have not occurred. When you sell that property, when you exchange it, when you change it, it will become realized gains and it can be taxed properly then.
That's
unrealized
right.
gains.
Yeah. I'm pointing out in cases where they don't sell those assets that they can actually utilize a tax code where they borrow money against their assets. They borrow money, like a loan to themselves in essence, which allow them to not pay capital gains even.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to pay capital gains tax.
You don't see the loophole in that. The poor
I see the loophole.
what they don't have.
So there's two issues here. One, I don't believe that they owe a fair share. I don't believe anybody owes shit. I think that the real greedy party here is the government. They extract way too much money, and it's a bloated, ridiculous system.
I agree.
Beyond that, let's assume if there is a share, right? The rich pay more than their fair share. The fact that they're able to find some loopholes to minimize or reduce their tax burden doesn't negate the fact that on the whole they're still paying they're still the ones paying taxes, and the taxes are funding services for the poor, right? Like I agree
with you, but but this isn't the rich versus the poor. That's not the argument.
I just don't know that you can convince me without having any specific numbers where exactly you think the rich are not paying their fair share. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like the rich are paying more than their fair share.
Well, it's kind of funny that you said the first part, which is government enrichment, which I agree with you on. But who is the government? They're made up of people, individuals, such as the $2 trillion trillion dollars lost during the buildings falling down incident in 2001. Right? Where do you think that money went to? You think it went to, right? We have to be a reasonable person here. Do you think it went to the poor people? $2 trillion lost.
How was it? Oh, are you talking about the money the government lost that they announced the day before? Are you talking about the loss of the destruction?
I'm talking about the $2 trillion that was not accounted for. It just went missing.
Right.
Do you think that went to the poor, or do you think it went to the rich?
I think it went to the government.
Take a guess. And is the government made up of the higher end that we're referencing? Is it made up of poor people or rich people, or
is that
people?
I don't think that's a meaningful way to divide it. The issue here that you're describing is one of theft. These are criminals stealing money from the government. It has nothing to do with whether or not they're rich or poor. That's an arbitrary distinction. You don't need to tax the rich more because those people stole some shit. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, again, we're talking about fair share. And $2 trillion was stolen from all of the people who put in taxes.
Nobody has
agree it wasn't the poor, the middle class that made off on that $2 trillion.
Nobody has a right. Nobody has a right. Whoever took that money, they don't have a fair share of it. There is no fair share of it. It's theft. We're talking about two different things here.
No, we're not. But again, we have to go back to you're saying, well, it was just people that stole the $2 trillion. They were rich people, clearly.
You're acting like rich people have the right to just, as a normal course of action, to just take money from the government. They don't.
Do. It's called the government. What do you mean they don't?
Go bring back those goalposts.
Yeah, so the government, right, at the highest end, you would agree, are the rich, right? Are they not rich people making up the higher class of the government?
Anything at the highest end will be the rich.
Sure, right. So government, the same people that you're complaining about, yet you're saying that the rich pay their fair share.
Do you know that the U.S. government is the biggest employer in the world at all? The government is a lot more than just the rich.
Okay, sure. I agree. There's middle class within the government, right, on the lower ends. But there's nobody middle class that's a senator or a congressman, right, Supreme Court justice.
I mean, I don't know.
We could go on and on.
They start out those jobs middle class. They don't finish them middle class.
Okay, while they're in them.
Yeah.
They're not middle class. They're not lower class. They are the rich. And what do? They
become
help
rich.
Their buddies. They help their buddies. Right? And how did they become rich? In part through the money that gets put into the system by the middle class, by the rich. And the argument, again, going back to, is the rich don't pay their fair share. In many senses, they're profiteering with their buddies, collusion, extortion.
So then you agree that the government has more than its fair share of taxes
coming from the middle class would be everybody. My argument. Well, from the middle class in particular, they're disproportionately paying a high threshold of the income it takes to live off.
Let me share the screen again.
The same one?
Yeah. Remember? Okay,
yeah,
so
I see. I'm looking for the citations here.
All right, that's enough. Sure. You can take it back down.
Yeah. Okay, this was federal income taxes and adjusted gross income. Okay, very specific, right?
Okay. Define fair share and then prove that they're not paying it.
Well, I just did. You want me to give you a definition for fair share? That doesn't seem fair.
Okay, then
the question is,
it's arbitrary.
So fair share would be a disproportionate advantage that they're getting that the rest are not on average.
How disproportionate? Any amount at all? 0.001%?
Well, that would then qualify if we could say yes versus no. So
okay,
yeah,
so
it could be that.
So you're saying if people were paying their fair share, this chart below, the lines would be exactly even across the board.
So this is share of all income taxes paid.
Right.
So does this account for capital gains? Does this account for?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get the concept down. So let's just assume that this graph is all taxes paid on revenue. Right.
Okay.
And so the top bar is the percentages of income received by the parties. And the bottom is the percentage of income taxes paid by. So you're saying that if for people to pay their fair share, a graph like this would have to be exactly even across all the colors.
Well, that would be in a vacuum. In a vacuum, yes. But when you consider that there's many other obfuscations that we just went over, loopholes, deferments, tax havens, right, shelters.
So how do we know when we've reached? How do we know when we've reached fair share?
Earned income. Well, hold on. I'm setting the baseline. What would even be considered share income is not proportionate, because for the poor middle class, pretty much any income coming in is going to be income. They don't have any of these other mechanisms available to even utilize. So I don't think this chart is a fair representation of the baseline fair share.
You don't think poor people hustle off the books? I think lots of them hustle off the books. They flip shit on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. They scrap.
No.
They work under the table.
No.
Bro, I've been one of the poor's for several years now.
Look, sure, but you brought up eBay and online e-commerce, and we all know at this point anything over $500 used to be $20,000, but now anything that comes in over $500, you're going to get a 1099 for. I believe it's a 1099.
I'm banned from eBay for life.
Yeah, I know. You were selling people on there.
Yeah, though I sold people.
What was the question?
How the fuck do we just know if a fair share is being paid? If the shares are fair? How will we know when we've reached fairness?
That's a good question, right? How would we know when things are fair?
I think there's no such thing, because I think that robbery is always unfair. There's no fair share of grape.
I agree.
So why would there be fair share of financial grape?
Yeah, I don't think there ever has been a fair share. I don't think we even have an example that we could bring up. I'm not saying that there. The question is, are they paying their fair share? It's not what would a fair share be? What would it look like? How can we?
Well,
get
there's
there?
no way for us to know if they're paying their fair share if we don't even know what a fucking fair share is.
Well, we can see if there's disproportionate burden put on the middle class that is not put on the upper class.
But we're not sure what figures to include in our measurement to value the disproportionate burden.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. There's
so this is
thousands of variables.
This is all a vibe argument. I don't feel like
it's not a vibe argument. It's a common sense argument.
This is
and I know the average American is having a tough time.
This is my truth versus your truth.
No, it's not. We can use stats to look at certain nuances, but to make an all-encompassing argument of the thousands of variables would be impossible for lay people like you and I, right?
Okay, so I guess you're the one making the claim that they're not paying their fair share. I don't think such thing as a fair share exists. You think it does, and that they're not paying it. But I think that you just conceded that it in fact does not exist.
Yeah, it does not exist. There is no fair share.
Checkmate.
No, that's not checkmate that you think it is. Just because it doesn't exist doesn't mean that the rich are paying their fair share. How could they be paying their fair share if there is no fair share?
All right, hold on. Wait, listen, hold on. Like, I heard what you just said. I heard the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Oh my God. This is so weird.
Now, I want you to rethink the phrase that you just said and try to say it again.
You talking to Flo?
To you. You just made a statement that was circuitous and defined itself in its own definition. Just try. I don't think you said quite what you meant to say. Say what you meant to say again.
I think I see what's going on here. Flo, are you fucking the moderator?
Yes, no, but that's beside the point.
But I'm fucking you
Objection.
too. You may object, but it's from behind. Let's not go this route.
Right. So back to the rich don't pay their fair share. You're asking me what would be a fair share. And I pointed out from the very beginning that if we're talking about fairness in terms of equality of opportunity, that we wouldn't have all of these tax loopholes. It wouldn't be so complicated, the tax code. That's clearly a way that the rich can obfuscate paying what could be deemed as a fair share. Although we can't perfectly point out exactly what that would look like. That would be impossible. And as with anything, this isn't unique in that sense.
I think that you just fucked yourself.
I didn't feel anything.
That's
because you got a huge asshole. Oh.
So going back, you think that it's fair that the rich pay less proportionately to their income, as I pointed out, for instance, the top 400 billionaires, all of the various loopholes, the complicated tax code that exists within the U.S. You think that that is fair?
So I think, first of all, I disagree with your claim about the rich not, but let's move past that and just address the fairness part. I do not think that there is such thing as fair grape. An analogy would be, why aren't you getting graped as much as I am? So all of it's unfair. There is no such thing as a just amount of injustice. So the entire concept of your fair share, you haven't had to have as much dick as I have. That's absurd on its face. So,
well, that's definitely true. I agree with you on that one.
Checkmate. Checkmate.
So you're saying that because the system is unfair, that nobody can have a fair share.
Now you're just struggling to struggle. You're just struggling to struggle now.
Well, no, I'm saying that you took this debate then in bad faith, right? Because you don't believe there is such thing as a fair share.
That's what the fuck I've been saying from the day one.
That you took the debate under false assumption.
No, I've literally been telling you exactly that. I don't believe that there's such thing as fair share.
And yet you agree that we all have to abide by the tax code, right? So given that we all have to, right, that we all have to, we're required to, we're forced to, extorted to.
That cannot be made fair. There could be nothing fair about that.
Within the confines of the system that exists. Right now, it's very obvious the middle class is struggling, right? Becoming the lower class within the U.S. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, the middle class is struggling. The wealth gap is getting bigger. But just because I'm getting graped once a week doesn't mean that it would be more fair if you also got graped one time a week.
So you think it should be twice a week for me, once a week for you, because there is no...
Motherfucker, I think you're going to get it daily if you don't tap out soon.
I mean, you can submit whenever you're ready. Right? To you, it's fair that these loopholes exist within a unfair system, as you put it. Like, that's okay. Right? So in that case, then... why don't we just have the middle class pay 100% of their income in taxes, right? Because nothing's fair anyways. And to you, that'll make no difference. That's what you're saying, essentially.
Objection, moderator. Do you know what the fuck he's talking about?
I'm unsure exactly how this corroborates with the conversation at hand.
Well, you're saying because the system is fucked, that there is no fair, and it wouldn't make any difference once, twice. It makes no difference. So I'm saying, for that matter, it would be the same if the middle class was paying 100% of their income and the rich were only paying 1%. That would be all good then in your eyes, because the system is fucked.
Isn't that a false equivalency, though?
Yep.
I mean, how is it the same? Isn't it a false equivalency? Because, I mean, how is it the same to not be the same?
What?
I mean, clearly 100% is different from like 12% or whatever it said on that chart. And I don't see the equivalency.
Well, he's saying because the system is fucked, right? He's almost saying like the well is poisoned, right? In terms of taxation.
We can all agree that the system sucks and it's terrible and nobody likes it, right?
Sure. Yeah, we do agree with that.
Can we agree
I'm pointing out that he's saying it doesn't matter how much one party gets fucked.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that that more fucking is worse always for all parties. So to suggest that the rich need to get fucked more, which would make things just, is, well, I mean, you just got your morals wrong. But if you want to get unfucked, if you like being on the side of the winning team, and if you have a YouTube channel and want a tax deduction or an expense to deduct, hit up the Powder Dusty.
That was a terrible plug.
Why?
Nobody said here that the rich should get taxed more.
You could send me some money, and then you could write it off as a business expense.
Sure. But you just presented that I think the rich should get taxed more, right? Proportionately more. And that was never my argument.
How on earth then could you make get the rich to pay their fair share if you don't want them to pay more?
No, more percentage, right?
That's more percentage.
Sure, it's more. I didn't say a higher percentage. I said on par.
More. You want them to pay more.
Well, right now they're paying less.
I know.
Right, and that's why. Okay, so you agree then they're not paying their fair share. They're paying less. Because you're saying that if they paid more, then my argument would be valid. So because that's not the case, then, right?
You ever fillet a fish alive? I know Sasquatch has because he's a dirty southerner, where you like hammer it to the deck and then just sort of cut its sides off and then just like wriggles there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're fixing to come right back into this whole scene and figure out exactly who walked away with a W and who got spanked. We don't know. I don't know. I'm still sitting here wondering. But when we figure out who won, we're going to convict them of something. We don't know what yet. So tell me this. How'd you like it? How was that?
I thought it was great.
Good.
I had good sex.
I think it was pretty clean. I finished. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So if y'all would like to take a couple of minutes to go, powder it if you need to, get you something to drink. I need something to drink myself. I'm going to pop a little bit of a non-copyright type BS over here for just a few seconds, and y'all can run and go tinkle in the corner if you need to.
All right.
Whatever
Wait,
it
this
is.
an intermission?
Yeah, about 3 minutes of intermission. Yes, sir.
All right.
Everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, class of 99, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have long been proven by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind, you will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at your photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to bring things that never crossed your worried mind. The kind that blindside you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives, and some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it, but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past, and the people most likely to stick with you through the future. Understand that friends come and go, but for the precious few you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. You should travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you will get old, and when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse, but you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's actually worth. But trust me on the sunscreen, that's a fact. Welcome back. All right, Flo, do you exist, or are you off trying to find some chick to chase down an alley? Guess he's not there, or maybe he is and he isn't answering. All right, so chat, we're going to go to y'all. Put a 1 in chat if you think.
Wait, we didn't even do closing statements.
Are we doing closing statements? We ran to the time limit. I'll let y'all play it out.
Yeah.
You want? Okay, we can totally do this. Who goes first? Base, you're first. You won the coin toss.
All right, very good. All right, so the idea that the rich don't pay their fair share is a reflection of these systematic disparities embedded within the U.S. tax system. While proponents of the current system argue that the wealthiest Americans pay the majority of federal income taxes, such as Flow, this view neglects the nuances of effective tax rates, loopholes, and the regressive impact of other tax structures not available to the middle class and the poor. In reality, the ultra-rich leverage an array of strategies unavailable to the average Americans. By the way, this is all constructed by our government, which Flo agrees is corrupt, allowing them to contribute far less proportionately to public resources that sustain society. Key example of the discrepancy between tax rates on income versus wealth. Most of the rich's earnings come not from wages, but investments, as we pointed out and talked about, which are taxed at significantly lower capital gains rates, 15% to 20% compared to up to 37% for ordinary income. One example, billionaire Warren Buffett famously pointed out that he pays a lower tax rate than his secretary due to this inequity. And this was cited in 2011 New York Times. Moreover, many billionaires avoid taxes entirely on their wealth by borrowing against assets instead of selling them, as I pointed out earlier during the debate, a practice highlighted in ProPublica's 2021 investigation. And I can link to that as well. This allows them to live luxuriously without triggering taxable income, while the middle class is fucking drowning. I rest my case.
Alrighty then. We'll do it with one of these.
I gotta bounce. Thanks a lot for proving just how ugly and immature you are. It's been real. And just so you know, I don't really care about your problems.
Yeah, I don't really think that I don't even think I need a closing argument.
Or you
I
allow
yield.
you're
Yeah,
yielding.
no, I think that it's I don't think it's necessary. I think that I can do just fine with that one. I would.
Damn, was it that bad? The beating?
It is bad.
Damn.
I would point out that and I just rushed to grab a number because I don't want people wandering off and then repeating bad information. Warren Buffett paid 23.7 million in taxes in 2018. That's the fastest number I could get a hold of. So he is paying taxes, and I guarantee his secretary doesn't pay that much in taxes.
So he lied in the New York Times. 2011, by the way, is what I cited.
And again, we're getting into you conflating or confusing the distinction between technical income tax as described by the IRS and colloquial use of income, the word.
No, you're confusing
That has
percentage
been
with
my
amount.
issue with this the whole time. That has been my primary complaint about the framework of how this went. That's why I kind of didn't want to do the debate idea, more of the courtroom concept, because y'all are arguing, y'all aren't debating really. There's no way I could enforce the framework of a debate on this without everyone getting along. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm pretty sure y'all would have, but it's still very boring. I think this is a little better.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, that's
is
good.
I'm happy with the format.
But Flo agreed there is no fair share, therefore the rich can't be paying their fair share. So even on that basis, I win.
Yeah, go bring them back again. You can't just keep running off with those goalposts again.
That's the name of the.
If there is
the discussion,
if there is no such thing as a fair share, then we cannot say either way. It's like saying
we can. There's no devil. I didn't meet him.
You know what? I'm not playing this game with you. We all know what it means when you say they're not paying their fair share. You'd said it the whole day. You said that the middle class pays too much. The rich don't pay enough. And
you agreed.
Now you're trying desperately to find some toehold to get out of the devastating beating that you took, like a fish that got filleted on the docks, just wriggling around.
I agree, except Gave. You agreed with me that the middle class is drowning, and now you're saying they're not?
I have one observation.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between the space considered like between the minimum versus maximum to be considered middle class shrank by like 22% between 2022 and 2024. So there are less middle class now than there were just 2 years ago.
That's a significant shrink. I noticed that.
Major shrinkage. And you can ask any dude with a 2-inch dick if 20% matters.
It does.
Sure.
Take it from me.
Well, that actually proves my point further, that more of the middle class has turned into the lower class. They've been pushed down out of the middle class.
So more people are getting paid from taxes? I don't know. You're really just grabbing at anything and saying words to try to find a toehold.
What do you mean more people are getting paid from taxes? Who gets paid from taxes?
The poor do.
Every single entitlement program that exists is funded from taxes.
Okay, so
your food stamps, your health care, your cash assistance, your HUD,
we agree.
or your Section
40,000 a year. 40,000 a year is now the poor. We agree with that.
We just did closing
and you're saying
arguments.
they're not paying. No, hold on. You're saying they're not paying taxes. They're getting money. Let's ask everyone in the audience.
We just did closing arguments.
If you're making less than 50,000 a year, you're not paying taxes. You're getting paid taxes according to Flow.
Based one to flip. 1 in chat if based 1, 2 in chat if Flow 1. And then we'll move on to the court case at 1 minute at an hour and 15.
Wait, you're not going to put up a poll?
We got too many stream destinations.
I can't put up a poll across all the streams.
Oh yeah.
I've got a poll in mind, and I'm going to go by it in mind. But let's see.
A lot of twos rolling in. Oh my God, there's a lot of twos flying in.
I don't remember what the numbers were.
I'm 2, you're 1.
Yeah, I am number 1. I agree.
Next time, I'm going to use 6 and 7 just to fuck with y'all.
I'm 6.
Do you want to pull up the super chats or?
All right, so we're running pretty much neck and neck.
I know. It's because we've got a retarded audience. I mean, I swear to God, some of you fuckers are stupid.
You hear that? He's talking to everyone that put 2.
I am. And this is
So
going
you
to
gotta
draw
change it to
more your
1 now.
way. But like the fact that there's so many ones down there is abysmally. It's really depressing for you guys putting 1.
Number 1.
They're way back there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to them. Trying.
I think if you click on star, right?
Hey, there you go. Nice.
Thank you, sweet Melissa.
Oh, that was one of the ones.
Very nice. Thank you, Jody, voting with your time. And money.
Stephen David, I don't know which stream you're probably on mine. I don't know where all these ones are coming from. But yeah, there's several of them. Cynthia, of course, who famously doesn't think she feels. Sweet Melissa, who just said, "Hey, sexy," with a super chat. No, I'm not coping. I still have more 2s than 1s. I'm just, you know how when the mandates hit, like, it was shocking in a really bad way how many people were compliant losers. I'm having a similar experience here just because there's any ones at all down there, honestly.
Hey, I got a vote. Does that mean I get to claim victory because I wasn't even in the competition and got 1 vote?
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good.
Somebody wrote 1 in on me.
Let's see who else. I'm calling out. No, let me not do that until later. Oh, and you've got Hank on your side, who thinks that truth is just a feeling.
Okay, so my tally is FlowState by 1 at this point.
Boy, that's
That's a little
that's
disturbing.
really bad.
Over here, I've got 67% saying that I won. So you can make of that what you will.
What'd you say?
I'm showing you. It's going to the chat. I'm not going to save this for myself. It says I won by 66%, right?
Nice job.
Yeah, that's my chat. That's kind of how that's going to go.
I gave you the advantage right off the rip because I had the burden of making an assertion.
We are dead tied. Anybody out there?
I mean, here's the thing. I obviously won this debate.
No.
You like people
in your mind.
Like, but literally, I'm right about this. It's
oh no, that's your argument. Literally, I'm right about this. Okay.
What I'm saying is that you didn't know what capital gains was. You have a crowd of people who feel like Rich owe him something.
You want me to define capital gains?
No, we just told
was a
you what
hold-up.
it is. We just told you what it is.
Well, you read it. Okay, sure. I could have read it. You read it.
But you didn't.
That didn't change.
I didn't read it.
About anything.
Okay. I got a different question. Let's take this one. Have you ever paid capital gains tax?
No, I have not.
Shut the fuck up! I mean, what I'm just saying, if you haven't had to engage in that particular type of tax code, it is less than encouraging. It's less than encouraging.
Actually, no, I haven't. I don't think I have.
We've got a tie. We got a dead tie. I'm not sure. I was not prepared for this. Don't know what to do.
How the fuck does Flo have Stockholm syndrome? See, this is what I'm talking about. These are the people who put one. They're poor people.
Flo
They're
has
poor,
pulled ahead of the
stupid
one.
people.
Yeah, and you're trying to keep them down. I'm trying to set them free.
They'll keep themselves down.
You heard that.
Okay.
You heard that, chat.
Have you watched the new Squid Games?
No.
The new season at all? Did you watch the original?
No.
Okay. All right. So in it is the premise that some people are poor and some people are rich, and that it's the poor's fault that they're poor. And the implication comes through like this. They only involve people who have huge gambling debts and are super poor. Not just no income, but no income and a huge debt that's either to the state or to some mafioso or something, right? So the thing about that is you're talking about a group of people who habitually make bad decisions based on a hunch. It's something they can't control. These are people with gambling problems. And these are the people being exterminated by the Squid Games concept by the hundreds, right? And I find it weird when you look at someone who, and you can try to equate gambling addiction with any other kind of addiction, but it really doesn't hold true. You just have to learn to do nothing in all cases. It's just that I don't know of a physical addiction with a gambling addiction. How does that work? Can either of y'all explain that?
Say that again. What's the question?
Is there a physical addiction in gambling addiction?
There
No.
could be. Well, there could be, right? If you're doing a slot and pulling the lever, that could be part of what could be defined as a physical addiction.
No.
But it would really be related to the brain chemical releases. So
Right. So, I mean, to the extent that addiction is a mental or psychological affliction, then sure, all addictions are physical.
Okay, let me try
But there's
again.
I know it, but physical addiction, physical dependency is a different thing than that. That's not what we're
Yes, it
describing.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
well, give an
That's what I'm saying.
example.
Klonopin. I was physically addicted to Klonopin, and I did not take it recreationally nor enjoy the effects of it. I just
Right,
didn't
but-
realize that it had a 72-hour half-life when I was taking it, and
Yeah.
so when I didn't take it, all of a sudden I felt like shit. So they're very different. Psychological
Right, but
addiction.
when you talk about Klonopin being a physical addiction, you mean the pill itself or the releases within the brain chemicals?
Ooh, all right. Now you're being a sophist. Hold up. You're trying to make the distinction between
He's been a sophist the whole time.
the chemical changes that take place in the brain after you take a pill versus the pill itself.
Well, I'm saying that same release within the brain would be that of other dependency addictions, right? So why would it be limited because it comes in a pill that you ingest rather than pulling a
Dependency,
lever on a slot
physical
machine?
dependence. All right, one of the defining points of physical dependence is a physical reaction to not performing the thing, whatever the
Right.
thing is. That you have a negative, you sweat, you shake, whatever the negative impact it is on your physical, like real stuff. Pores flow. Jody D.
Thank you,
You're one
Jody.
girl.
I'm one of the pores.
Right?
I just happen to be one of the pores who actually understand shit. Most
But
of the
what I'm
pores.
asking really is the difference. Is there a distinction between the gambling addiction versus the person that eats floof from the inside of baby dolls, or the chick who chews on her own hair, or the guy who eats the rubbers off the pencils, right? Is it an OCD thing, or is it an actual like alcoholism / drug abuse?
I think it's more like that. Alcoholism. I don't think it's an OCD thing. I think gambling, being a gambling addict, would be the worst addiction to have of all, because
I agree.
money is a trigger. That's fucking
Yes.
terrible.
Yes, agreed. But one of the things that gets me, and this is something that every single gambling addict or even borderline gambling addict I've seen says, they always have a hunch. When they win, they knew they were going to win. And when they lost, they thought they were going to win. I'm like, yeah, that checks out. Isn't that a little obsessive compulsive though?
Yeah, there's that component to all addictive behavior, really. Like there's a ritual around drug use as well.
Yeah, that's you're not wrong though. That is very true. I know people who have all but little drug shrines set up to whatever type of usage they do. You've got the people who have the little perfect pocket Coke kit, and you have
the little
people,
rigs. Yep.
Yeah, those little rig packs like you see in Pulp Fiction and stuff. These people, they literally are being religious about their chemical abuse, and I know gamblers who do a very similar thing in that they wear their lucky shoes and put on their lucky underwear backwards and won't touch red during the day that they're doing a bet or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just that's just I think that is just sort of an indication of the type of addiction they have, right? Their addiction is to chance, and they're trying to take control over something they don't have.
Do y'all have access to y'all's YouTube chat? Can y'all both set a poll? Because they're demanding polls and paying money for it. So, Base, you have to set a poll. FlowState, I'd like to give you my poll and watch Base dance on a pole.
I demand my $2. No, I'll set up a poll.
I'll give you 75 cents. Do you happen to have a Cash App, a little slide? Because I don't have a Cash App. I've got to put my debit card in somewhere.
Yeah, right down my butt crack.
And it'll get beat.
All right, hold on. Let me make a poll. And I will refrain from being insulting in the title or in the question.
Thank you. That's so cool. That's amazing. Like, I didn't see that coming at all.
It's hard. Pause.
That's what she said.
I paused it.
And I followed through because I'm a bad person. It's so funny. Fuck you.
All right.
So
did it.
Good girls. All right. So we've got a thing happening. Let's convict somebody. So first of all, we have to decide who's guilty of something. What was the thing? Oh, Base. Which side is the defense? Which side is FlowState on currently?
I'm on the defense side.
Right. Okay. So right side, and you're on the right side on YouTube. So everything checks out. I can say right side, left side, and that'll work. Defense is over here, right? Correct. And prosecution is over here. Are we accurate?
No.
He's the prosecutor's side. I'm the defendant's side.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
because the courtroom door is always over that side, right? So you come in that side.
Flo would know.
Yeah, I would. And then they bring the defendants into the closest side of the door so they don't walk them across the whole room.
You know, this is funny because if y'all go get the same little background I've got, you could be the judge. And just stick that thing in StreamYard and break it out whenever you're ready. Anyway, so Based, I'm bringing charges on you. I'm not. Flo is. Flo's bringing charges. You remember the charges, right?
I charge you with sodomy in the first degree, sodomy of a minor, sodomy of a farm animal.
Just stop, dude. I'm never going to set you up again. It's a good lesson. Just don't do it.
I don't know how you saw that playing out.
Right? Well, it's effective.
All right, we got 88% for me, the truth. 89% no. Should I end it here? Or?
So what you're telling me is everybody's chat agreed that everyone whose chat they were in won.
It's amazing.
I feel like I'm not learning anything here because I wasn't even involved, and I won.
That's really the winner right there.
I have to make an argument.
So it was tied over on your end, and then Flow side won for him and mine for me, so it's tied again.
So I'm just gonna. I hope that those of you who are voting for him are doing it because you don't like me. Because if you're not doing it out of either support for him or malice for me, I got bad news for you. You're gay.
Rematch. We got a claim for a rematch. Actually, all right. Which way? I don't. That's one thing I don't like is the way it pops up on top of Flow. We're gonna have to move some stuff around. I'm gonna have to go get a different court scene.
Indeed.
That's what it is. Are we doing the panel thing?
We can do however.
Because we're gonna have to call this a tie. We're gonna have to come back with a tiebreaker in 2 weeks. Do your fucking research, kids.
We just need better audience.
I can agree with that at least.
Yeah, Flo doesn't like the jury, so we need to get an all-new jury.
I'm not real happy with the executioner myself.
In all fairness, we are asking people to judge on a topic that the average person doesn't know shit about. Like, the average person doesn't know enough to know that Base Oracle didn't know shit about it either.
Objection.
Sustained.
Overruled.
I left my roller, kids. Denizen, is that you, boo? I wonder how I'm gonna find out. Because I have had shots taken at me the past couple of days.
You were getting clapped up lately.
Yeah, they're a little bit offended with me, and I'm doing it, dude. Say something. I dare you.
I dare you.
All right. Look at you, you little bitty
porn bomb.
Here, gotcha. I know. I was waiting for it. Yeah, you're the one, girl. You're the one. I object.
He the bailiff?
I'm the court reporter.
Okay.
The stenographer.
Wait, all juries are rigged.
And whenever the judge wants to have like a, what do you call it?
Sex?
No, not sex. That's in the chambers.
The
off the record conversation. What are they? A sidebar.
Yeah.
I go like this while y'all talk. I go the whole time.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, that'll be annoying.
I'm gonna pass a court ruling. We no longer have sidebars involving Denizen. We can have them. He just can't be there because he's weird. So, which way do you think it went there, boo?
You're asking me. I voted 3 times.
Yeah, you say it out loud for the people in the back.
Based 100% represented in reality.
Hmm.
Do you care to explain that?
It depends what you mean by explain. Rehash the debate? No. But I can make assertions as to what I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you think the rich are paying their fair share of anything in this country, you're delusional.
Okay, go on. How so?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
I agree.
What's that based on?
The way the economic system is set up and how wealth and resources are distributed in America.
Yeah. So what is it that they owe and what is it that they're paying?
Say again?
What is it that the rich should pay and what is it that they are paying?
I don't know that they should pay anything.
This is why our audience is not qualified to vote on this exactly.
No, because you asked an economic question and then a moral and philosophical.
Well, it involves both aspects, doesn't it?
Okay, so I'll answer it the same way I answered the first line of questioning. Exactly the same percentage as everybody else.
Okay.
It'd be a good start, but we measure these things.
What if they're paying more?
They aren't. And we also measure these things. You said there was no way to measure them. That's not true. We
But
measure
how
these
is
things.
that-
Base
But-
said that.
How do we define income? Is kind of an issue.
Currently, or should we?
I'm saying would
You're
this
making the
involve the change of the
Oh, I mean, but as far as the tax code, it's based upon profit and gains. Capital gains are considered income, and you pay income tax on capital gains.
So your statement is a moral one or a technical or an economic one? A technical one. Which one is it?
I would say it's both, but I lean on the economic one.
Okay. So what?
And I want to make it clear, I don't want to do this right now. I
Okay.
specifically said I didn't want to do this, but go ahead with your question.
Well, no, I don't have to, because I understand that it would not be fair of me to grape you just because I graped Base Oracle so bad. Like, it doesn't mean that
You
I have to
didn't.
grape you as well. For
You're
to
not
make
the
it fair.
rich.
but you
grape
didn't.
anyone.
He debated better than you, and he was also correct.
No, neither of those things. And you also debated, or made your case terribly. You didn't make any case at all. You just said anybody who thinks that the rich are paying their fair share is delusional, or whatever you said. Well, you're just expressing, you're just puking up a feeling. It's just a sentiment. You just vomit it on the floor.
As I said I was going to. I didn't feel like debating it with you, because I listened to you debate it with him. I agree with him. You didn't understand or listen or
No, I did.
get any of the stuff he was saying.
This
So it's not going to make it. If I'm going to do it again, it's just going to turn into the same thing again. It's wasted breath.
And this is exactly what all Marxists say. You don't understand socialism. Yes, I fucking do. I understand.
I don't care about socialism or Marxism. And taxes are higher taxes are not Marxism.
What we're dealing with is political envy. Political and economic envy when you feel like somebody owes you something because they have it and you want it.
And I mean, so what? Even if that's the case, you're implying that there isn't a reason for envy, or that envy isn't an important factor in human society.
I'm implying that it's one of the lowest forms of human.
Hold on, I think I just heard.
I specifically said I was just going to make an assertion.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure your assertion is that if you're jealous enough of people, you should charge them more, sir, because you want it more.
No, that it's
How is it
gaslighting
more?
to suggest that people shouldn't be envious in the current arrangement.
Okay.
That just because you're envious means that you're wrong.
Don't you find it degrading to live in a state of envy where you're upset that you're degraded compared to somebody else, but you can't really do anything about it without their consent?
That's all just your loading and assumptions.
It's my load.
Yeah, you're just loading that on to what I'm saying. I never said that I live in a state of envy, right? It's just a way to avoid what I am actually saying.
Which is what?
And again, I just want to point out I didn't want to do this.
Well, you came up here and made a claim.
Not for this.
Okay, nobody touched Denizen. I don't like my spot.
I don't
Thank
either.
you, Hank. Look,
I'm
Flo
not-
thinks it's
that's-
fair that big companies, the rich, the elite, Amazon, for instance, paying 1% of their
Appeal to
profits.
emotion. Fair.
He
We're
thinks,
adults
he
here.
thinks that's fair, 1%,
Yeah.
while middle class pay 40%.
I think
overall,
that.
50%.
I think that.
You have
let me answer
feelings
Hank's
about an
question.
issue.
Let me answer Hank's question, but it also applies to Base's position that he just said. Envy is, yes, I think envy is bad. I think it's primarily bad for the envious because it's a self-destructive mind state. I don't give a fuck if people are envious of me, but if I'm envious of somebody else, then that is self. It's like poisoning yourself to get back at somebody who gave you food poisoning.
I don't think that Denizen or I were pointing out any kind of envy, just asking that a fair share be paid.
Well, I'm
by the rich.
responding to Hank's question.
Yeah. But again, you think that it's fair if elite or big company pays 1% and then small mom and pops paying 30-40%. You think that that's
No,
fair?
I don't think that would be fair. I also don't think that that's the case.
Well, it is
No,
the case.
of course.
What do you mean it's not
No,
the case?
it's not the case.
Well, it is the case. I can point it
no,
out. 2020, Amazon paid $162 million in federal taxes, which is a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money, but it was only 1.2% effective tax rate of the income.
Let me see that.
The profit.
Let me see it. Put it
which
backstage.
was 13. Hold on.
Put it backstage. Let me look at it.
I will put it backstage, but hold on. So they made a profit of $13.9 billion in 2020, Amazon.
Okay.
And paid $162 million in federal income taxes. So that is 1.2%.
Okay, put it backstage so I can look at it.
I'm going to put it backstage.
And now show me something with a mom and pop shop and what they pay. I want the comparison.
Okay.
Are you saying you currently believe it's less than 1.5%?
I don't believe that he can find a comp. What I believe is that
I
it's
agree.
really easy to find. It's really
He
easy
won't
to
be
find.
able to prove the obvious. Correct.
See, and
I
this is
agree.
again, you're doing your I feel this way sort of arguing. What I'm saying is I think
Nah, it's based on my personal experience on this earth.
What is your
because
personal
I also
experience?
have feelings about it doesn't make it any less.
What is your personal experience on this earth? Feelings, boy.
That corporations write the tax code, asshole. I can call names too. Yeah.
Yes, you can. I thought you didn't want to have this conversation though.
Yeah, I don't want to debate you on whether or not the rich pay their fair share.
You just want to sit down there and make claims and not have.
No, I didn't want to do that either. You agreed that I could just say my opinion and not have to debate you on it. That was you agreed to that, and you did not.
I changed my mind. I
agreement.
changed my mind. If you're gonna be up here, you interact like a big boy, like everybody else. If you say it publicly, it can get challenged publicly. You little bitch.
I already did, and now I'm not going to anymore.
Good.
All right, I put it in the back chat. Did you feel it? So this is going over a few different years, but also shows the one that I pointed out, 2021.
I found the Amazon one.
Yeah.
So the point that I was going to make is that it's easy to find these numbers, right? Because just like this headline, people are doing this with an agenda, right? There's an agenda here, and it is to get more money from the people who have money. By the government, really. The government is leveraging public opinion and poor people against rich people. That is why it's easy to find things like this. But you're not going to find taxes on a mom and pop shop.
I did.
All right, which one? Because
the second one.
There's no agenda on the other side, by the way.
Even if there is an agenda, that doesn't make it incorrect. Because I don't dispute there's an agenda. There's always agendas, but that doesn't make it wrong. That isn't an argument that there's an agenda.
Correct. It doesn't negate the whole thing.
Exactly.
I do. How much do small businesses pay? Small businesses generally pay 23%. Don't give me generally. I want a specific.
Yeah.
You gave me a specific.
You need to go find a private company's tax return. Otherwise, he doesn't believe you.
Yes, we got.
It's just your feelings that small business owners pay less or pay more than 1.5%.
I want to be able.
That's just your feelings.
To look through the tax return. I was an underwriter for 10 years. I know how.
That's not at all an unreasonable request for information either.
It's not.
Okay, I found you a small business making $250,000 that had a taxable income $50,000. 22% federal. So you want me to put that in the back?
Yeah,
it's
I want to look at
Sweet
it.
Cravings, right? Because you wanted a specific one because you said I couldn't find it, but I did find it.
I want to be able to compare the two. Yes,
Okay.
I want to be able to compare the two. What, Sweet Cravings? You want me to find it? You put it back there.
No, hold on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's also worth reiterating, there is no fair share of taxes because it's theft. There is no fair share of grape.
Okay, but the whole argument wasn't just taxes.
Loggers.
The more pedantic you make the argument, the more base wins.
Bro, I thought you were sitting this out because you're a little bitch and you don't want to be argued against or else you start shrieking.
Sitting it out will be me not by taking that bait anymore. I'm still going to say what I want.
Okay. Well, I'll comment on it, and I'll make you look stupid, and I'll call you names. I'll mock you.
To your perspective. And that's the best you can do.
Hanko Flamio says you want to have access to the business's bank records or you won't believe it.
No, I just want to see the tax returns.
Oh, I got to pull up the tax returns.
I mean, somehow all this information's out there.
This is what I meant, by the way, too. You have to be delusional in order to believe this crap. QED.
So, Denizen, just to be clear, your opinions have been based on actually nothing. Base is at least getting stuff and information. You just came in here with a hot vibe, with a hot feeling, with my truth. Can run in with my truth. If you can't see my truth, you're insane.
Let's repeat it for the record. Small business owners pay less than 1.6% in taxes. That's the claim.
Don't you want to grow up and hold yourself to a higher standard?
1.6% annually. That's the whole year. That's not a day or a month. That's the whole year.
And what happened there underneath? How are they calculating that? Are they taking in the fact that Amazon doesn't pay any local taxes because they get tax forgiveness to build their plants at places? Right? Is that what's going on? There's something underlying this.
There are a lot of reasons why Amazon does not pay their fair share of taxes.
Well, if fair share is determined by tax code, then they are. If fair share is determined by personal ethics, then there is no such thing as fair share of theft. So they're not.
Then how did you say that the middle class paying 100%, the hypothetical I gave,
I never
would not
said
be
that.
fair?
You said that.
Well,
I ignored it.
I gave the example, and you said no.
No, I didn't. What? Nobody
I gave the example, and you said no. That wouldn't be right.
To have somebody pay 100% of their income.
Right.
Of course it wouldn't be right.
Ah, so there is an answer. So in that case, because
the answer
discrepancy is so wide.
Taxes ethically are always unfair, right? So more unfairness doesn't make things more fair.
You showed up to the wrong debate, Based.
What was the right one?
What was the right one? Bro, what the fuck was the right one?
Was there
whether or not there's a fair share.
Right. Which was
So we showed up to the our taxes fair debate.
Well,
right.
I've argued it both ways for you. I've given you both ways of looking at it.
And both ways Based wins.
Our taxes fair.
If you want to make it a matter of definition, whether or not
our taxes fair ethically.
I don't know. Which answer do you want me to give you in order to make the point?
I want you to give me your opinion. Are taxes fair? Is it fair for the government?
It's a little above my pay grade. I'd have to say yes.
And why the fuck are you sitting here having opinions?
I think they can be fair.
My opinion is that the rich do not pay their fair share of taxes.
Your opinion is pure emotion based. You don't have a thought in your head on this.
Maybe.
I mean, you keep saying it over and over again.
I will.
Yeah, so I think that taxes can be fair. Right, they can be. You're saying that they aren't, but there's a wide array of what could be considered a tax.
I disagree.
So,
I'm not sure there's any definition of taxation that you could say would be fair, regardless of how far down a utopian path you carry it.
So
I'm not sure either.
I'm just thinking that perhaps a voluntary tax, would that then change? It wouldn't be a tax.
I think that there's degrees of things could get better, right? Like a luxury tax,
right?
Is more digestible than an income tax,
right? That was my point.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that case, it could be deemed fair, but I think that income, as you're pointing out, is inherently not in the current system.
The issue is the definition of income when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Also fair.
Well, fair. I mean, Fair, that's a fifi thing. I don't really like the use of the words fair in most anything, because what's fair? What's fair to you won't be fair to me, and won't be fair to Denizen, might be fair to Base. And it's your opinion on it rather than any subjective fact that we're going by on that.
Economically, we measure these things, though.
We measure fairness.
Absolutely. Access to food, healthcare, education, luxury, assets, passive income, retirement,
fair quotient?
Quality of life. I mean, whatever you want to call it. We measure these things. It makes sense. It's not some pie in the sky
It makes
ridiculousness.
Sense.
Absolutely. A human being's quality of life.
Concepts you can't define that just
don't.
Make
if
sense.
they're so ambiguous, Flo, stop screaming over them while I'm saying them out loud.
I would like you to define any of your variables.
I don't care what you'd like. I'd like to say what I want to say without you interrupting me and screaming over me. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to turn down the volume so that I can hear myself talk. Whether or not you have access to food, health care, clean water, medical care, education, retirement, how much money you have left over for disposable income, how much you have for savings or emergencies, all of these things are measurable, and they're all directly tied to your quality of life as a human being.
Correct. So which one of those is fair? How do you measure fair? It doesn't have to be
some unfathomable quotation based upon somebody's feelings. We measure these things, and we can make things more equitable for everyone if we really wanted to.
Hey, I put something in the back chat. Okay. Sasquatch's example. He wanted a very specific example, so I got him one.
How do you measure fair out of all that bullshit you just said, Denizen?
It would be with all the bullshit I said. You call it bullshit. I call it actual quality of life.
But isn't that just social engineering at its barest?
Yeah. We're at social engineering now in favor of the rich. We're always socially engineering.
The rich will always have the upper hand, right?
Not numbers wise.
By definition, right? Rich is by definition.
One moment, folks. I'm going to be some kind of bombed, I'm sure. Let's do this. Hi, Steven.
Yo, no, you're not going to be bombed at all. No.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
All right. Dude, it's been hot over here. They've been shooting shots.
I get it. I totally get it. I figured, if we're going to have, somebody that's coming in to defend Oracle over here and, do the low tier debating, we might as well have it balanced out for a second and have me step in for Flo, do a little tag team match here.
Appreciate you, homie. Tag in.
All right. So what I don't understand, Denizen, is how you're not understanding the entire operation of how the United States taxes its citizens. Like, first and foremost, I think you fundamentally don't understand how any of it works. The fact that you're saying that basically the poor don't get enough when they're literally not paying taxes for the majority of the time. Like, I'm sure you're probably one of the people that come tax time, you get really excited because you're going to probably get about $2,000 back in your pocket, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So are you Canadian then, or what's the deal? Because
no.
You are really crypto communist in all your simping.
I've heard you say before
you don't fit into any of my bosses.
I've heard you say before you exploit the system. You live on government cheese. I've heard you say that out of your own mouth.
No, you haven't heard me say that.
Okay.
So then, give me your side of this, because I fail to see
my side of what.
So you fail to understand that literally just by quantity, the rich are actually paying more than the poor into the government. And the poor are benefiting off of the rich because of all the different tax-free programs, different foundations that are being able to be set up on the backs of the middle class and the rich, that basically people like you seem to argue for and not understand how any of it works. You just think it's infinite money.
I don't see anything valid for me to address there. Is there anything
Go
else?
Fuck yourself. Is that all you have? You're a fucking retard. Oh my god. I can't believe I wasted my goddamn time trying to give you.
You did waste your time. That was utterly pathetic.
Go,
you didn't make a single argument about the issue whatsoever. You made a bunch of various assumptions about my income and what I understand and what I don't understand. You just told me what I think, told me how much I make, told me where I make my money, and then asked me what my opinion on all of your stupid assertions. I think you're an idiot and you're not very good at assessing people, strangers on the internet. You should go back to the drawing board.
Denizen, you're a fucking liar.
Then why ask me to begin with, stupid?
I didn't ask you that question. I don't see any reason to ask you any more questions. Now
good, I'm glad.
I've seen you do a bold-faced lie.
I've accomplished something, because Lord knows I'll never be able to accomplish convincing any of the people here who already disagree that the rich don't pay their fair share. But if I could get you to shut the fuck up and stop talking to me, then I've really won today. I'm the real winner of this debate.
You can't get that done. I'm just not going to ask you anything. I'm going to tell you things.
So, Sasquatch.
It's 50% of the way there.
Yeah, Flo wanted a real example. I put a real example.
I don't see a real example in the back. I just opened the same.
No. I put it as a share slide.
Oh, you got to tell me things like that, dude. I'm like,
you got to put it backstage so I can look at it without having to request it scroll. Put it in the back.
Yeah, I'm going to put the sources in the back. I put a screenshot.
Okay, so for whatever reason you chose to just pull up a screenshot instead of giving me the source.
I put it in the back.
Like he did.
I think Base just like things in the back.
Here's a real example of a business generating $250,000 of revenue with a taxable income of $50,000, meaning profit.
This is not a business. This is a fucking school test problem.
Listen. We go through the tax code, which I cited in the back. I put it in the back, Flo. You should feel it.
No, get out of here. This
with that said, 42% taxable income for a small
business. I asked you for an actual business, not a test question. This is not a real business. You know that, right?
It's real enough.
No, it's not.
Just don't forget that it's not whether or not Base can find proof. It's proof is to disprove the theory that the average medium or small business in America pays more than 1.6% income tax. Flo says that's bullshit, and that's why Base can't find any proof of it. Not because private income taxes are not available and Amazon's are.
So then, if we can't find actual numbers for the small business. No, that's not it. That's not it.
I own a small business. I have 3 of them, and I know I pay more than 1%.
Cool. Then cough up a tax return.
Fuck you.
Right. So you asked for a small business example. You're okay with small business paying 40 times the percentage as Amazon. 40 times. You're okay with that?
No, he's saying it's not real.
For me to answer that question, there's an implicit concession that is the case. It is not the case.
Right, you're asking for private information, so I gave you a public example.
Yes. You gave me an example of a hypothetical situation. That's not a real example at all. Here's the thing. I was a bank loan officer for 10 years. I looked at a lot of tax returns as an underwriter. I understand that taxes are there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of moving parts. Any attempt to oversimplify something as complicated as Amazon's fucking tax return, like we're doing here, is going to be inaccurate.
Profit taxed at 1.6%.
So unless we can look at the details and see what the fuck happened there.
Oh, we got to be an accountant to figure it out.
Well, no, he told us before. I mean, he said things like tax incentives, local tax breaks.
That income was different in accounting language than it is in colloquial language. I'm talking to people who... Did you?
Yeah.
You knew that
it can mean many different things.
You knew that income was specifically W-2 income in IRS code?
Well, hold on. Who said W-2? It could be 1099 income.
See, they still don't understand what I'm talking about.
It's not that we don't understand what you're talking about. It's just that we're not limiting the conversation to what you're talking about.
Right, and the debate was not on
that is the conversation.
Taxable.
If you're not going to engage,
that.
if you're not going to engage in tax, to discussing tax with tax,
we're talking tax
jargon.
Yeah, we talking tax.
There's taxes on all sorts of different kinds of income, not just W-2.
When you say they're not paying their fair share, you're making a specific measurement. All these articles you keep trying to grab are the examples making specific measurements. If you don't know what the fuck the measurement is, or you refuse to engage with it as defined, what are you? You're crossing your streams.
Who's refusing to engage with it?
You're refusing to engage in any useful way. You're sitting here spazzing out and talking about how you feel about things.
Old Joe, it was,
and you didn't even want to engage anyways.
I disagree. I think Denizen is lying to himself more than he's lying to anyone else because he does.
About what?
Because you want to engage. You clearly want to engage.
No, I want to engage. I'm just not going to explain. Like, I'm not going to debate with him.
Yeah, because you're a bad faith coward.
I'm engaging the way I want to right now, and I feel very fine with it.
Yeah. I'm Cartman.
And it seems to upset you, which pleases me further.
Yeah. No, nobody likes a whiny little bad faith bitch like you. Of course.
Where's the bad faith?
I'm not. I don't feel like engaging with that. Where have you been the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, I don't have to.
You've been lurking around.
What's that?
What are you talking about?
I
didn't go anywhere.
I've barely seen you at all anywhere.
Anywhere? I've been on streams every day.
Where?
On YouTube.
I used to see you every day, and then you ran away from Andrew on Mel's panel, and all of a sudden I see you like maybe once a month for a minute. So where did you go after you ran away from Andrew?
Sounds like a you problem.
No, it's not a problem at all.
I didn't go anywhere.
I'm just curious. Where you lurking?
Very curious about my personal life and my feelings, but not about the topic of taxes.
Not your personal life, and I'm not curious.
I think you got crushed.
I'm actually
by the
not
facts.
curious about your feelings.
So
at all.
you made the entire thing about Denizen instead of making it about taxes. And anybody with an IQ above room temperature can see that.
You know the debate's over.
So ask me more about where I've been.
Okay, where you been?
I didn't go anywhere. I've been here.
You've been here. Okay. I think that you got embarrassed on Mel's and you've been hiding from people in other chats. I'm just curious where it is.
Other chats.
I think that you changed your normal routes or normal hangout spots. Is that correct? Or am I wrong?
The only change I've made about where I go is I don't go where I'm not wanted, welcomed, or appreciated.
So you did make a change.
I'm always making that change.
I think everyone.
The list gets updated frequently.
To a degree.
So, never mind. I don't even care what the updates are.
Yeah, you do. It's all you care about.
No, I really don't anymore. I was just curious if you made the change because you were ashamed of the way you ran away from Andrew.
No, I was proud of what I did to both Andrew.
You were proud of that? No way.
And who's the other guy? Racetoe? I laughed my ass off.
You accused somebody of spousal abuse, and then when he came to confront you, you dipped the fuck out. You're proud of that. Maybe I'm missing an angle on it. Explain what you're proud of.
I wasn't going to be made into content. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. The only thing that I made a mistake there was I should have left 10 minutes earlier. I was right about Andrew too, so there's nothing for me to run away.
He beats his wife? You're doubling down on that?
I never said he beat his wife.
What did you say? I think you did.
I mean, you think a lot of things that aren't real.
Mm-hmm.
Was it out on that paddle, sir?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It was a while back.
I think I might have came up right after it happened.
Maybe. I didn't continue to watch.
I don't believe that either.
See?
Mm-hmm. What? What are we seeing?
I mean, you don't believe anything that's real. You live in a state of delusion, all based upon your personal feelings.
No, I don't.
And then you project that onto others.
I don't believe your claims. You're very evasive. You're very defensive. You're thin. Your skin is thin as paper, and I know for.
Those are just all those things that you think about me because you're projecting.
I know for.
You're projecting the way I make you feel.
Let me Let me finish what I'm saying about you. This is about you. This is not about me.
But you don't know me.
I know enough.
You don't know anything about me for a fact.
I'm telling you what I know about you based off our.
You don't know anything about me for a fact.
I know you're thin.
We're strangers, Flo.
I know that you're sensitive.
You don't know that. What does sensitive mean?
We're not that stranger. We're not.
What does sensitive mean? Elaborate on that.
I'm not going to. We all know what it means. I know that you're sensitive. I know that your bold ass face just lied to me about whether or not you live off government income.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
All right. I know that, and I know that you're.
And you don't. You couldn't possibly know that for a fact anyway.
I'm taking your word off it. I know that you've told me 2 different ways now.
I have never told you 2 different ways.
Yes,
you hear what you want to hear, and you're not very good at listening.
Nope. All right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I never it suggested that Andrew hit his spouse or beat his wife. That never happened. I said very specifically what it was, and I stand by it.
What did you say specifically then?
And he's never denied it.
What did you say specifically?
Go watch the stream. We don't need to have round 2 here.
If you remember that I'm wrong, then correct me.
Sorry, I wasn't addressing you. I was addressing something in the chat.
Okay. So are you going to correct it? You're saying that my memory is wrong and Sasquatch's is wrong.
And I'm going to no. I didn't say anything about Sasquatch's memory.
Okay, so what is the correct memory then? Correct it.
Pass. Go watch the stream.
I don't think you remember it.
I know that it's not what you said.
No, you don't.
I do.
Then what is it? Tell me what it is so that we can check it out.
Pass.
Yeah, I know. There you go. You won't stand in any square.
That's correct. So keep telling me how I'm lying.
I think he said something like Andrew. Oh shit! Like something. He didn't say that he beat.
I just want
his
wife. He didn't say that.
Of course I didn't. He knows that too. He's a liar.
I want to know what it is so that we can look at it.
He knows that small businesses pay more percentage in taxes based. You know he knows that.
Don't deflect.
Don't stop giving this guy the credit that he doesn't deserve.
Don't deflect. What did you say about Andrew?
Deflect.
You said that you stand by your claim. What is it you stand by?
I'm not standing by anything. I'm deflecting.
Well, at least he's honest.
Well, he's not though. He's.
What's the lie,
dude?
State the lie. Simply.
Everything about you is a lie.
There you go.
You have no substance at all. All you are sensitive and defensive.
I kind of feel like passing.
And that's just like your opinion, man. And I think it's a lot of projection. I think that's the way I make you feel inside, and that's why you throw it at me.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
That kind of sounds a bit like a victimhood narrative to me.
Who's victimized there?
You saying that someone doesn't like something about you, so they're projecting because...
No, it's himself.
So by you... Wait, hold.
I think it's the things he doesn't like about himself that he projects onto me. He doesn't even know me. And I purposely give him very little to go off of so that he can fill it in with all his bullshit.
I don't know you, but you know me well enough to do a shadow analysis on me. You're analyzing my shadow self.
Where else do the accusations come from, Flo? I've given you nothing.
Observation of your behavior.
You observe my behavior?
I've experienced
We talk on panels like what, 15 times over the course of a few months?
You only need one interaction to establish certain things. We've
like
talked plenty of times.
Like whether or not I get paid by the government?
That's something that you've said before.
I never told you I got paid by the government.
Yeah, okay.
I've never told you that.
You're going to keep denying that. I get it. But
yeah, because it's true.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
That's fine. I don't expect you to agree with me, but I know
you're a liar.
I know what I remember.
You're a bull-faced liar. You know you're lying too. Half of these things aren't even your opinion.
Okay, you own 3 businesses then.
Owned. I've owned 3 businesses.
Oh, okay. The goalpost just moved. No, I remember what I heard. I think you remember what you said too, because you're kind of defensive and angry about it.
I'm not angry at all.
I only have to interact with you for a couple seconds to have established something that was said, right? We've interacted.
I don't know what that question means.
Hold on. We have the battle of the thumbnails going on over here. That's awesome.
Trying to do me dirty.
That's good stuff. I think you're both doing each other dirty. I think y'all are in love.
It could be.
That's a good one, though. I like that.
Pretty good.
So, do y'all feel better yet? Did y'all
I mean,
some of your teen angst? Have we successfully had breakthroughs and enjoyed ourselves at each other's companies?
Yeah, I think this was a big coming together, really.
I'm not going to lie. I came first.
Yeah.
That's not fair, but, you know.
And most. I'm not sure where to go with this. This is
I mean, it was a bit of a turn. With that said, I reviewed.
That's 2 nights in a row, bro. That like some really weird shit happened up on my panel. Though.
What's going on in the?
I might be the comment
stars or something, or the moon. What's our astrology doing? Somebody down there.
Yeah, anyways, I can't remember the exact phraseology Denizen said, but I did review it, and I didn't think he did anything wrong, and it wasn't because it was Andrew. It could have been anyone. And one of the bastardizations was, oh, it's his wife. She is a content creator. It was 2 content creators, and I don't see anyone running to anyone's defense over 2 content creators having an issue of, he seems like the type to, I mean, it was nonsense.
Doesn't just seem like the type to. He admit he does it. He's done it on the internet.
This is literally the thing you just denied saying. What you're saying right now.
No, I denied saying he beats his wife. What I'm saying now is he's done the thing that I actually accused of him on the stream. So for anybody who cares about reality and the truth, holy fucking shit. Anybody who cares about that, it wasn't something that I just thought he was the type to do. It was my opinion about stuff that I've seen him do. My opinion about stuff that I've seen him do. And I should have kept it to myself. Not because of what Raysto thinks or because Andrew came up on the panel. It was stupid to bring it up to begin with. It wasn't even, I didn't even bring it up. The host did.
You victim.
I think the stream was on grifting or Christian grifting or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Whenever you're demonstrated to be incorrect, just shout out victim or accuse the person of talking of being in their feelings.
That's what I do. I'm not even going to lie. It works pretty good.
All right, so we rehashing this in 2 weeks. Was that real?
I'm down. We can do it a week, 2 weeks. It's up for.
I mean,
I don't see any point in it.
Actual debate. Well,
I thought that there was like a legal thing that was going to happen. That's what I came up for.
Yeah,
that was just a ruse.
What legal thing?
I thought you guys had a second part of the programming scheduled, and that there was going to be a defense and a prosecutor.
I set all of this up like 12 or 14 minutes before we went live, and I was like, we'll figure out something to do with it. But everybody's accusing everyone of everything, and we're all guilty.
I genuinely thought you guys had a mock trial you were doing, and he was taking the defense side, and you were taking the prosecutor side, and I came up 100 for that. Because that was right up my nerd alley.
I've even got a witness box over here.
And the way you guys were talking about it, I guess you were just joking around, but it was so dry, it seemed like that it was discussed previous to the stream, and I seriously fell for it.
Wow. I feel silly now. So what are we accusing Based of? I have an accusation for Based.
Yeah.
By the way,
you instantly saw your mistake on that one. You weren't going to make that
again, Rhea. Don't just stop. All right. So my accusation of Base is having perhaps inappropriate DMs with Lindsay. Hey. See, here's the thing. She came and broached you on my panel last night, right? And I sat there and listened to that whole thing play out and watched your reactions to it. But at the time, I was over here eating, and I gotta tell you, man, it kind of feels to me like there might be something to her very pointed questions. Just in my personal opinion, I don't know anybody. Or
you
anything.
Are devious, Sasquatch.
I'm saying, how does the witness
definitely fucking the moderator down? You can see now.
It was just a little something that struck me as curious.
What is the accusation?
Lindsay was standing on firm ground.
Dig up that horse. Dig up the horse.
Lindsay, you want to come beat the horse some more? I don't know. No, I'm not going to do that to you.
Yes, you are. You just did it. Bring in the dead horse.
Just traipse his ass.
I missed it too.
Yeah, no, dude, it was fucking beautiful. We had Crispy up here last night, dude. Like, that's part of what inspired this whole courtroom thing. I was like, what if something like that happens again? We need to have a witness box ready. I call FlowState to the stand. Can you report on what you witnessed?
Between Base and Lindsay? I've witnessed nothing except for what I witnessed last night over here in the courtroom. Well, and then what happened after that on my panel, but that didn't involve Base. Yeah, no, I'm basically in the dark on it.
Shit, maybe you should be over here.
That was your witness?
You're the witness now.
He's now the judge. You're the witness.
Yeah.
You're going to have to testify.
So, all right, I need you to witness this. Take a look at my testicles. Do these things look like I need to have cancer?
I don't know. We're going to need a close-up macro.
You can't tell from the outside.
Yeah, they're going to have to core out a piece of that thing to find out.
They are? Is that how they do that?
It's not
kind of. They'll use an ultrasound first, and then if it looks bad, then they might take a piece to determine.
And when they take a piece, it's a chunk.
Ugh.
So what
next
is the allegation?
topic?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That Flo has testicular cancer.
Yeah, I wanted you to check out my nuts.
These nuts.
Place them on the donut.
This is degenerated.
Are you saying that you want my balls in your mouth?
I think he is on the donut. What I heard. I mean,
I don't know how else to take that.
Tooch.
Well, I mean,
don't get too carried away, Flo.
You don't get too carried away.
Yeah,
Flo,
no.
I can't believe you missed that shit.
They
She doesn't watch me at all.
Can you blame her?
She's with me full time. This is when I'm on here. It's when she gets like her. She's like, "Oh, I get some peace, thank God."
Right? No, dude. I told you about. I mentioned to my wife that there was some kind of get together going on in Vegas, and she stopped what she was doing, looked at me, and goes, "All right, let's get you a hotel room. We can get you a plane flight out there." And I'm like, "You're just trying to get rid of me for a week." Bald face, straight to my face. But you'll have so much fun.
So you coming?
I heard get out.
Yeah, that's what you were told. Well, let's go. We're going.
Yeah, might be. We'll see.
You know what would really make the Vegas thing better is if we had a Winnebago to drive there.
Yeah, I know it really would, and that's really how I'm trying to push this, but it's I'm just not gaining any traction. She's just not here in that side of it.
Tell her that's the only way you can get there. Tell her you're scared of flying.
Then I flew to Texas to get back El Camino.
It's a new fear.
I just developed it last night, honey. It's right up there with my fear of small things. Can't even drop my pants anymore. Yeah, I'm totally down.
I mean, I don't know what I feel like it should be easier for you to get this Winnebago than it is turning out to be.
I know. But I just blew the engine in my freaking Xterra. Like she was driving.
Haven't you already blown an engine in that?
No. Well, I don't know. It's the water pump timing assembly thing. It's getting fixed. I don't know. I don't like getting my hands dirty if I don't have to.
Yeah, you're fancy.
Well, I mean, it's punishable.
Look, do you see what Jesus and Mrs. Flo are saying?
Where are we at? Hold on.
Zaz and Flo should travel cross country together like MTV Road Rules. If you've got you've got Mrs. Flo and Jesus.
hey, wife squatch. Hey, Jesus wants me to go on a road trip with FlowState in a Winnebago.
Please.
She's just pretending she doesn't hear me anymore.
Sometimes, I mean, she might. I bet she's pretty good at toning you out.
Oh God, yes. God, yes.
Like, Katie can actually like just check out all the way. She can like just turn off her. She can dissociate somewhere else when I'm talking sometimes, and just not know any of it. And I can tell when she's doing it too. And so I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it again later. But like she'll do it again. It's like there's some sort of topic or something. It's arbitrary as fuck. But there's some things that's like she just won't hear it. And there's no like, hey, you know you had a tire appointment today. No. I told you 3 fucking times. And yes, she didn't miss her tire appointment, but that it's that arbitrary.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but can you imagine how that conversation goes around me? Because she'll mention some bit of esoteric bullshit that triggers some memory in my brain, and I spend 45 minutes explaining the slow breakdown of cesium-123.
I bet that if she's probably slowly poisoning you, I bet that gets awfully frustrating.
You always threaten my tea, and I haven't drank tea made by her in like 20 years now. I mean, 20 years to do that to a woman, I don't blame her. I kind of feel like the local cops around here have a betting pool on how long it's going to take her to actually take me out.
They'll call it a suicide.
Yeah, no, they're not even going to, because I mean, look, obviously, she had enough. I mean, you can't take me anywhere because the conversations always go sideways when people try to talk to me. If for some stupid reason, people try to talk to me instead of her, right? And she's like, no, don't talk to him. Talk to me. Listen, if you talk to him, you'll just get lost. Lost? Are we going somewhere?
All right. So I have to acknowledge that in fairness, it does go both ways. And sometimes I do literally walk out of the room while she's talking.
Did I do that?
What happened?
I walk out of the room mid-sentence when my wife's talking because I was doing something.
So you were trying to say she doesn't pay her fair share of attention, but now you agree that she does.
What?
I'm just not even doing it. Y'all are trying to antagonize me to death.
I'm not even trying. It's natural.
I know it is.
True.
It's just general teen angst. See, if y'all are dressed alike, that's kind of freaking me out.
Oh yeah, we did that on purpose.
I know, it's so fucking great.
Just to freak him out.
No, it's just when the whole idea of the debate popped up, and I had the different background to set up some formats and did all this like right before we went live, and I really like the debate framework. That actually looks pretty cool, you know. Not that
so there is no
dude, you just totally autismed out off of what you're talking about.
I'm sorry
about how you're explaining the story of how we're matching on purpose, and then you're like, I really like this layout.
But no, I mean the matching
Squirrel.
goes along with it. Squirrel. Shut up, dude. I like this one too.
As the moderator, based one.
I like the one better where Edmund was gone.
I was never gone from here, though.
It's just I need to get some gunshots to play. Just people start taking shots.
But wouldn't it be, Denizen? Do you want to go to Vegas?
From my perspective, I liked it better when you were gone.
So this
how come all of a sudden you keep showing up at all my regular places?
Denizen, come to Vegas.
Are you following me?
Come to Vegas.
What would it take to get you to Vegas?
$220,000.
Is that an arbitrary number, or have you got a reason for it?
No, I've got reason for it.
What's the reason?
Because you're broke? You need some money?
That's none of your business.
Well, I had a pointed question, and I'll admit it's none of my business, but will you answer it?
Oh, touche. No.
Okay.
Good point. That's a good point, actually.
It was worth a shot. Never know. Might catch you in one of your honest phases.
I think your friend is ruined for life now. He can't stop.
I have friends. Hold up.
Whoever's friend that was that came in here and told me I don't understand how taxes work. That was brilliant.
I mean, I
that he said it was on. I said I was on welfare too.
You've said that before.
I have never told you I'm on welfare. Never.
Okay.
And you know it too. That's because you repeated verbatim what I did say. This is how I know you're a disingenuous person. And it's why you project it onto people.
What was the verbatim thing I repeated? God damn, see, this is what I'm talking about.
It's fucking literally recorded on the internet for anybody who
I know,
really
but
cares.
you're making claims, and you don't. I'm not asking you because I'm curious.
Because I want you to do this. I want you to keep doubling and tripling down on your lies.
That's what I'm doing. I'm asking you because I'm trying to demand that
he already fell for it.
I didn't fall for shit.
You did.
You're just showing yourself to be a snake. I'm trying to get you to stand
slither. What does that even mean? What is a snake?
God, you're faggot.
I'm so. I mean, like the antagonism is delicious, but and my vampiric nature just wants to sit here and devour it all. Should I? Should I?
Is there a butt? You said butt.
No.
Oh, you seem like you're at conflict with yourself, Squatchy.
Well, I'm usually nicer than this. This is not the kind of thing that I typically do, but sitting here in this position of power has gone straight to my head.
Jim, you're in my Discord. I post my income to my Discord.
Say who to what? For how many jelly beans? Unflappable. Unfloppable? I'm not sure. That says unflappable, correct? Or did we just kill everyone? Like, is the stream suddenly dead? Based. Do something entertaining.
It ebbs and flows, apparently.
Yeah, it does seem to.
I'm making dinner.
So you're not going to do anything interesting. So it would be sausage.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's a long kielbasa so you can remember me.
As a matter of fact, it's a small one, so I can remember you.
I know. It was cold. I was young and needed the money. I have no idea where to take this from here. So,
where are you, buddy?
who, me? I'm up here.
Yeah.
Hi. So,
fuck, man.
no,
Not
I'm
much.
Just not interested at the moment.
I'm like waiting for, you know, my favorite TV series to come on, but it's not coming on, you know, like.
Right? No, I get that feeling.
Yeah, and I don't usually feel like that.
I'm actually going to take that as a compliment. It does look good though, don't it? I just kind of threw that together. I was like, Based helped. Base was critical in the
No, this I loved. And I liked the debate thing too.
Yeah.
I took it personally when someone mocked it in the chat. This is how much I liked it. It hurt my fifis.
I don't know. And you know, that's the
But I for real thought you guys were going to have some kind of mock trial or something. That's not a thing.
I kind of played with the idea. I don't know. I don't feel qualified to be a judge.
Really?
It just in general, like I feel like I'd let shit go. I'm real laid back.
It would kind of take a weird person to think they are qualified to be a judge.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that 100%. You're absolutely right. And
that's how I feel about cops too.
I agree with that statement as well. But it goes to that kind of superhero concept mentality. You pretty much have to be a narcissist to want to try to law enforce other people.
Yeah.
And you can't be too terrible smart because there's so much paperwork in order to rig the system in a crooked way that only they can freaking understand because they're all morons and they get together and plot this shit themselves. You know, like for instance, how they scream "stop resisting" every time they touch someone.
Dude, they're so like trained at it too now. I found like multiple examples where they knock somebody out and you could hear them snoring on the body cam, and they're like, "Stop moving your hands, stop resisting." Yeah. Let go of my hand. Let go of my hand.
Are you familiar with Carolina and Fort Worth?
That's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, no, she full on got pulled by a cop. She got slammed on the ground by a cop because she stopped walking. No other reason. He said something to her. She stopped walking and turned around, and she got slammed. Ended up in the hospital overnight and got arrested for, what was it, resisting arrest or something stupid like that?
Yeah, either that or hindering in Texas, I think, or obstruction.
Hindering. I think it was hindering. No, but hindering is such a very broadly defined thing. I mean, it is.
It is, and she still wasn't guilty of it.
Yeah, right.
Even with its overreach.
She said, "Huh." She told you, "Huh," and the next thing she knew, it was 3 days later. She was charged with charges. Like
it's legally established in every jurisdiction I'm aware of, like the, excessive force, that you have to escalate in a appropriate, proportionate manner, right? Maybe not in Texas, though.
Here's the problem I have with it, though. Like, you can make whatever argument you want to make about her turning and squaring up at the officer or whatever. Carolina and Fort Worth, 115 pounds dripping, soaking wet.
If that.
She is a threat to no one and nothing except for a couple of chicken nuggets. And probably not a full order either.
So is it inappropriate to ask, am I being obtuse if I'm curious why she pleaded out, or did she get convicted? I heard she took a sentence.
I haven't looked into that one in a minute. Let's go see. Where are we at? Well, she's currently active, so she's out. Let's see. Apparently the cop got fired. I bet that's why she pled out. I bet that was part of the agreement or some shit. Oh no, that's Colombo Fashion Network. That's not it. 97.2K subscribers. Where are we at? Right here. We're going to put that there. I'm going to throw this up here. This is Carolina in Fort Worth. She is one of the less annoying cop watchers out there. Because for some reason, see, that's the thing. That's what I don't understand about cop watchers in general is why do they seem to believe they have to piss off cops in order? I don't get that part. Why do you have to be a dick? You don't have to be a dick.
I hear this a lot, but from my perspective, it's more the cops being dicks than the cop watchers.
Yes, but some cop watchers sometimes.
Some.
Yeah, and obviously,
and then even then, usually not to the point where I would expect a police officer to react while he's on duty. Usually, some stuff that, like, if you're above 12 years old, you should be able to handle without violence or violating the rights or breaking the law. Violating someone's rights or breaking the law.
How long ago was that? That was longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, that was a minute ago. But I thought I heard recently, and maybe Joe would know better.
Yeah, where's Joe? Cool. We don't have enough white girls on the panel. That's
I thought I saw his. Oh, it was Cynthia saying, "Where is he?" I thought he was entering the chat.
Well, now you got to say his name 3 times in the dark, and you'll hear the crack frying behind.
If you're a white woman, you got to get a white woman up here to do it.
I guess you're right. You do got to get. Well, I got FlowState.
Penalty below the belt, literally.
That's funny. Let's see, 3 months. I bet I'm not even on the.
Cynthia's getting him.
She would. I bet she's already got him at least once. Dun dun dun. Yeah, that was a shot.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Precious, precious baby. Right? Sweet summer child. Which do you prefer?
Just not. I'm not on that plane, man. Whatever it is. We intersect, obviously, our planes intersect on multiple vectors, which proves that the universe is what is it, like a polytetrahedron or some shit like that?
No. So
I'm no geometrist.
No, it's Minecraft that's got it right. See, we're on a giant cube and going up. We just happen to be on top.
But there are many ways in which our planes are not even parallel.
This has gone far too esoteric.
Goes past my my metaphorical bat.
Yeah. It's sort of a metaphorical butt. Stop it. Get some help.
Hanging upside down in a cave.
Yeah, you need therapy. That's what this is.
That's probably true.
It's a cry for help.
I think you are crying for help right now, sir.
I am crying for somebody. Please help me. I kind of feel like the damsel in distress tied to the tracks waiting for the train to hit him. You know? And there it is. Is that the one? No, that's not it.
But what's a polytetrahedron, though, Wolf? That was the term that I was misusing.
Yeah. Yeah, polytetrahedron is like one of those things that go a little further along the sides where it's no longer a distinctive doohickey. I'm not going to do it in scientific terms, bro. You can just hang that shit up. It's like a 20-sided dot. Polytetrahedron. Just means it's got a bunch of sides, bro. More than one.
Whoa. I think Jim might have nailed it.
Where? How dare you, Jim? He's a puppy dog. Where's Jim? Oh, what did Jim do? A polygon is a shape.
No, a polytetrahedron. But a toroidal sphere, that would make more sense, I think.
But wouldn't the term actually mean undefinable number of shapes? Number of sides, rather? Tetrahedron.
Say again?
An undefined number of sides. A polytetrahedron.
Maybe. I wasn't sure how I was misusing the word. I couldn't remember what one was.
So, like, it's just anything with, like I said, more than one side. Poly. Multiple.
Well, no, it'd have to have some other properties in order to qualify as a polytetrahedron.
The tetrahedron, which is a sided geometric shape.
A term used for 3 distinct types of objects, all based on the tetrahedron, a uniform, convex, 4-polytope made of 600 tetrahedral cells.
I've decided I don't like you anymore. Thank you.
Fair.
Yeah. I figured as much. I can't find it. It's way back there. I was going to watch her get beat up again.
It's a common conclusion.
We got some stream sniping we can do.
Oh, I mean, whatever. I mean, if people wouldn't ban me, look, like I said, man.
Shut up, Toe for Life. You talk too much. I'll tell you. Right. Not sure what else to do with this. Bam. See if he unmods me.
I'm not coming up.
Oh no, she's not coming up.
Oh, you want me to turn your channel on?
No, I'm just highlighting your.
Oh well, they're having a thing. They're doing some stuff over there. FlowState, do you exist? Based, are you here?
D, correct.
You like the D? Okay.
Yeah.
That got based attention.
I was just saying nobleness D has the tetrahedron. Correct.
Anybody doing a live stream tonight? We want to promote anything? Point at somebody and laugh? Like, what are we doing?
I'm not.
No?
Nah, I figure this victory lasts me a few days, at least.
Is it a Pyrrhic victory there? I mean...
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. I imagine Flo will probably do some kind of live stream. Has he already gone live? I bet he has. He's just the type of cracker to do that trash.
It looks like the rich are going to be paying even less over the next several years, and that the gap is going to grow wider, and more people from the middle will fall into the poor category. So,
yeah.
Is there not the opportunity for people in the middle class to advance into the wealthy?
Some opportunity at all, of course.
Yeah, definitely some.
So
it's just that the cards are stacked against you.
Against me?
Everyone who's not already there.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Like,
and the closer you are to it, and the farther you are away from it, the more it's stacked against you.
Yeah. I'm not adverse to this particular thing. I mean,
there's some check boxes and like intersecting lines there too. Like some categories too, where there's exceptions based upon other things besides your economic status. There's other ways in which they rig the game against people. Like they like to do it with gender and race too.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta admit, dude, this all sounds very woke.
Well, the truth.
Very what?
Maybe woke.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, this is the same kind of response we got from Flo in half the chat earlier. Like, you're not saying anything to dispute what I'm saying. You're just putting a label on it. How long before you tell me that I'm just in my feelings and we're never really going to address the assertion.
Aren't you actually in your
always 100% in my feelings, and anybody who points that out is either ironically exposing themselves or unironically exposing the fact that they're unaware that they're in their feelings, and therefore even more controlled by them than I am, I would argue. Everything is just feelings.
I'm so utterly baffled here. For some weird reason, I always lose the location of my redirect thing.
Socialism is the public ownership over the means of production. It's not everything the government does that you don't like. That's not socialism. We can use the word that way, and then yes, I concede.
I'm not a fan of using words in a
taxing Elon Musk and what's the other asshole's name?
Bezos?
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, taxing them more money is socialism. If socialism is whenever the government does stuff you don't like. And I want you to think about the irony if your name is not Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. You might not get it, right? Because all of this is from my perspective. But from my perspective, that's the shit that gets me up in the morning. It amuses me. It entertains me. It's why the irony of life tastes so sweet, and while there's always more reasons to be happy and joyful than there is to be miserable, no matter how fucked up and rigged the system is against you.
Huh. Well, I say I'm gonna wake up in the morning and eat me a steak.
I usually skip breakfast.
I come across these little buttery taters that are so tasty. They're just begging to have a steak with them, and I think I'm gonna do it.
All right.
Why can't I find the redirect? Why can I never find the redirect when I go looking for it? I'm so freaking.
What's a redirect?
It shouldn't be in your settings, Sasquatch. It should be when you edit the video. You're in settings right now. It looks
problem. Right. So
yeah, maybe custom. I can't really see it.
It would be.
Yeah.
Go back to the live and then click the edit video button for the shortest, easiest way there.
Right.
You could do get shareable link.
Yeah, we could do that.
And then just go to the link. But I think clicking on that live square up there will take you there as well. There's a link too to the right. Video link. If you click that sucker, you should get an edit video button if this is your channel.
Yeah. It's my channel. I just don't know how to use it. That's what got me there in the first place. I'm almost certain. Yeah, that's what got me there. Right? And now what do? Where's it at? I go all the way to the bottom.
That's beyond my pay grade. Based? All I know about is the edit video button. I don't know what redirect is.
I've done it before. Makes me feel so stupid. Because I know it's something simple here. Like, I just, there.
Redirect.
There we go.
I don't think I have that button.
It might be in advanced features. I'm not sure. I know I lost the ability to do it for a while there. Jesus. Michelle, stop scheduling stuff. Just quit it. That's ridiculous. You know what? Trias and the Storm Crow. Where's Resla? No? Just no. Just flat no. Okay? Let's try opinionated. I misspelled opinionated. Oh, Lordy. Is that not the one he's doing tonight? Flo, get your ass in here. I'm trying to redirect your people to your people. Where's your people at? Why aren't your people doing the people thing? I don't get it.
I tried to find his live earlier. It said he wasn't live.
Oh, he must have finished up before we got done. He does that sometimes. It usually
I wanted to go in there and vote for Based in his poll.
Are you fucking the moderator? Yeah, we really think. I've been trying to get out of here for 20 minutes.
Okay, bye.
Hey,
See ya.
I'm gonna freak somebody out. We're gonna do this. Flo, do you want to say anything to anybody? I'm not gonna let you, but you can say you do. Bam. It should do the things by itself now, and it's going to freak this dude out. So I want everybody to go in there and mention his GYAT, G-Y-A-T, and he'll freak out. It's hilarious. Anybody got anything to say? Base, do you want to promote something that's not socialism?
Oh, that's not?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm going to promote my channel. The fact that we came, we won. Flo was a formidable opponent-ish, and he did his best. You know, he really tried. He gave it the old college try. And, you know, things didn't go his way tonight, but, you know, there'll be another time. There'll be a next.
Certainly hope so. Plan on being there. Flo, would you like your final thoughts? Uh-huh. Yeah, no, very well said, dude. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, with my slight delusions of being a judge completely overcome, I think I'm going to push this button over here and then we won't have to talk to us anymore.
Sorry. Good news, though. We're going to have to move the party somewhere a little bit more private, but you're all invited. Lorenzo will give you the details.